hopefully will.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and VR. Tyler is still MIA. He's on his way back from Florida, but we are joined by Alex and Skeeva from Between Realities. So
Hey,
awesome to
what's
have them
up?
on. How are you guys doing this morning?
Fantastic.
So good, dude.
I didn't wake you up too early.
I mean, Skeeva, yeah.
I got lots of coffee, so
Good. Yeah. Oh, your guys' feed just froze, but they are on the West Coast, so it's going to be definitely a different time zone. There we go. They're back. Lost their feed for a second. You guys are back. Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Okay.
So hopefully that doesn't happen
Anyway,
again.
we're just saying thanks, dude. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
This is our favorite VR podcast. We were watching this before we started our show, and we have never stopped, and you're awesome, and it's an honor to be here.
Well, awesome.
Absolutely.
Definitely appreciate that. And if you haven't heard of Between Realities, they do a show every Friday. I think depending on season, you guys go through the season, so sometimes take a little bit of break, but usually every Friday, Between Realities, the link is in the description, so make sure you check those guys out. They do a great job. A lot of times I'm at work when they do their show because of the time difference, but I definitely made it for yesterday's show. I watched the whole thing yesterday. I was in chat. It was awesome. So, and Alex, you are actually also the community manager for B Haptics? Is that what that is?
Correct.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I got the title right, but that is awesome. I've talked about the B Haptics quite a bit. Me and GT talked about it last week when I had him on. It's definitely been a thing that I've been wanting really bad. I just haven't wanted to pull the trigger and spend the money yet, but I've been looking at that thing all the time. It's definitely something I'm interested in. And Synth Riders just added support. You just put out a video playing Synth Riders with the B Haptics. Super jealous. If you guys weren't so far away, I would come over and try it myself 100%. But a little bit of a long trip right now. So maybe someday. So
love to have you.
You are invited.
Yeah.
Door is open, dude.
Hey man, if the world opens back up and traveling's a little bit easier and stuff, well, I actually have a family in Arizona, so we've been talking about taking a trip out there anyway. So yeah, if we do that, my dad's actually headed out there like real soon. So yeah, definitely it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Confirmed. Shawn live in the Between Realities studio.
I just sit right between you guys right there. We'll just all get in real close.
That's right. Tego's gonna be doing that in a couple months. He's coming down here.
Oh, awesome! That'd be cool.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. So awesome. We got a bunch of people in the chat. Paradise Decay, Obscure Nerd VR, which you guys had on yesterday, which was awesome. Yeah, that really looking forward to some of the content he puts out. Really cool. Sneaky Snooks, Signy, Wolvraza, Anakaze, Liberty 309, Tims, I don't know how to say that. I don't think I'm saying that right. VR Spry Guy, Lee Martin, Hitchman, Blizz, Artful, all kinds of people. So just real quick, in case you guys haven't, we do have a Gleam giveaway going on right now for the Climb 2. The Climb 2 just came out this week. We have that going on. It is in the description below, so make sure you sign up for that. I think that runs for like a week or something, maybe till Sunday next week or something like that. So make sure you sign up for that. That came out this past week. That was pretty cool. A lot of big stuff. I mean, we have so much stuff to try to pack into the show, honestly. I was telling these guys, like, I don't know how we're going to get through all the notes. Hopefully we can get to everything. We might miss some stuff, but I mean, as far as stuff with HTC, there's some teasing going on again with some possible headset coming out. We're going to talk about that, what maybe we think that is. Oculus chiming in a little bit on that, which I thought was interesting. Some big game releases. There's some big titles that are coming, some announcements, some games that we have a little bit more info on, some dates. So there's a couple that I am very excited about. I know there's a couple that you guys are excited about that you mentioned, so I can't wait to get into some of that stuff. Really, really big week, I think. I think the past couple weeks, 2021 is stepping up its game. I mean, really, it's like so much stuff back to back, and there's been no lull these past couple weeks. It's just been
daily announcements.
Yeah, it's just been a ton of action. I mean, between PSVR 2, I know Skeeva, you said you're super excited about that. What is it that's got you so excited for PSVR 2? We won't go too much into PSVR 2 because everybody's been covering it for weeks now, but what is it that's got you so excited about PSVR 2?
Well, first of all, I think a lot of us that are into PCVR know that PCVR is more like you always got to tinker with stuff. Sometimes you hop in, the volume, your sound isn't working, or this isn't going right, that isn't going right. It's really nice to pop on a PSVR, hop into a game, everything works great, and I really think Sony's going to come out and drop the mic on this one. They're going to have some good stuff to put out.
Like hardware-wise,
hardware
is just gonna crush.
Yeah.
I think software-wise too. I mean, they have so many big developers and stuff in their pocket. I think we're gonna see some really big surprises of games that are just gonna be absolutely amazing. But I agree. I mean, there is that PSVR. It's always tinkering. It's kind of the same thing with the Quest. When you get into like a console-based VR, everything's meant to work on that system. So it's not PCVR, everybody has different specs. So you got to have a game that's going to work on so many different things. So there is, it's almost still that barrier of entry, because there's just less time. You put the headset on, you go, you play your game, and you don't have to tinker. So I think that is awesome. I agree. I think Sony's going to absolutely kill it. I think they've sat back for long enough to figure out what they want to do, what everybody else is doing, what works, what doesn't work. Definitely excited for that. I cannot wait. So I will definitely be picking up a PS5 later this year in anticipation for PSVR 2 next year. So,
and there's a lot of people who are picking up PS5s who are not picking it up with having anticipation of getting a VR headset. And when that thing finally comes out, they're going to be introduced to VR right then and there.
Right.
They'll be like, I got the PS5. Here's a brand new thing. The PlayStation, like the Sony consumer base, it's like an ocean, know? So like for me, that's the biggest opportunity, is getting millions more people involved in VR that normally would not be.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that's why they had so much success with the first one too, is because they already had that console base of so many people that already had that hardware. So it was a little bit easier of a purchase, than getting into PCVR, because that was really your only other option at that time was PCVR or PSVR. Well, so many people already had the console. It was an easy decision. So I think that is, going to happen again. It's the hard part is that for the people like me that don't have any desire to get a PS5 other than VR. So then it's a much bigger purchase, because I have to buy both just wanting the VR aspect. That's the part that's a little bit harder, but I'm going to do it hands down no matter what. And I keep hearing go ahead.
Oh, those adaptive triggers, man. So, cool. The PS5 has those adaptive triggers, which kind of makes you squeeze harder or softer for different guns. It has a little bit of a kickback, and that for VR is just going to be a huge game changer as well.
I think that's going to be awesome. So let's talk a little bit about the Climb 2 since that came out this week. I have a little bit of my footage in here if I can find it. So I've been playing this week. I think maybe I didn't add it. I don't know. But I think my original anticipation for what I thought was going to happen with the game kind of did. Like, I was super excited for the game. I've played the first one. That was my first 6 Degree of Freedom game that I ever played. That was through a demo in Best Buy. Really excited for the second one to come out. And I had a feeling that it would come out and it would be like, man, this is awesome. I can't wait to play it for a while. And then I'd be like, kind of, man, that's a cool game. But it's not something that I feel like I'm going to go back into for a super long time. It's just, there's not that draw in it that keeps me coming back, other than, scenery wise, it's cool. Scale wise, it's cool. A lot of cool things about it, but I'm probably going to play it some more this next week. And then like after that, and I played it this week, probably some next week. And after that, it's like, it'll probably sit on the shelf for a little while, because there's so much other stuff, but I do think it is a great game to have, just to show people VR. When somebody comes over, like that's going to be one of the games that I pop somebody into in the Quest, especially people that have just that little bit of fear of heights, you know what I mean? And just to get their reaction. It's an easy pickup. There's no smooth locomotion or teleport, it's easy. Anybody can use the grips to grab and climb. It's a real easy pickup and learn how to play. I think people are going to have fun playing that as one of their first VR experiences. So that is something that I think is great about the game. I still wish they would have done some kind of co-op, some kind of multiplayer. I think that would have sealed the deal for me to be able to play the game a whole lot more. But I think they did a good job with it. And I think it is cool that there's like some Easter eggs, some hidden balloon stuff. I saw they posted something on Twitter today on the one level where you're crawling across the sign that changes. There was a button you could hit, and then there was like a shark balloon that came out or something. And I totally missed that. I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like I had no idea that was there. Nice. And there's definitely some jump scares. If you watched the video that I put out on the Climb 2, I had no idea about some of the jump scares.
Props to Shawn, by the way, for making a Reddit post that got like 1,500 upvotes.
Right?
It was
a tough crowd.
It is.
Dude, anytime I post something to Reddit, it's like instant downvotes, and that's like one of the things I posted that's actually done really good. But it was a clip of the jump scare that happened. And sorry, I know somebody mentioned about spoilers. It's almost kind of a spoiler, the jump scare. I kind of felt bad. I wasn't trying to do any jump scares. Oh, awesome! So somebody bought a coffee, John. Nastos bought you a coffee. Sorry, it covers up Skeeva there a little bit. I moved the one thing, but thank you for that. So that is a link in the description for buymeacoffee.com, which I think is one of the coolest ways to support the channel because we love coffee. It can be as easy as a simple one-time donation. You can buy 1 coffee or 5 coffees, or you can do a subscription, but really cool. You guys should probably look into that too. It's a really cool thing. It's kind of like Patreon, but they give you 95% of the money instead of keeping a lot of it. So it's a really cool thing. Yeah, really neat. So really appreciate that. Thank you so much for that. We do really appreciate it. So
95%.
Yeah, that never
That's
happens.
Pretty good.
Yeah, most everything you do in this industry, they want to keep most of the money. YouTube keeps most of the money. So that's cool. I mean, it's a really cool program. I think a really cool platform. It makes it pretty nice, but. So what was I talking about? I was talking about the climb too. Oh yeah, sorry about the jump scare. So yeah, so sorry if I ruined that for anybody, but I totally didn't see that coming. And I'm the biggest wuss when it comes to VR. Like I like horror games and stuff because they're the most realistic thing. But when something jumps in my face and I'm not expecting it, like I mean, I can't help it but to jump and react. Like it's just a natural. Like somebody said something. Like one of the comments was like, "How was that even a jump scare? You should have known that was coming." And I was like, honestly, for whatever reason, I didn't think the snake was going to strike at me. And two, in VR, when something comes flying at your face, it's hard to not jump. Like right. I just like it was ridiculous. But that was one of the coolest parts about the game. And the other thing I do really like about the climb too is I like the aspect of jumping like a gap. So you have to kind of launch yourself to get to another area. I did have some issues though where if I jumped over to something and my hand didn't grab on like right away, the screen would go black because if you put your face into anything, the screen goes black instead of kind of pushing you off, which that was a total breaker on a couple things when I would jump across. And then there was one time where it like went completely black and I couldn't figure out how to get out of it. Like it just stayed black for like 5 seconds, which seemed like forever in VR.
Sounds like a Vader Immortal problem.
Yeah. They need to fix that because that's not good. And when you're shooting them gaps a lot of times, it happened to me like 3 times, and I don't know what happened to my footage in here. I guess I didn't put it in here, but
I'm not in a hurry to play this game, to be honest. I mean, I probably would and maybe will, like if it goes on sale or like somebody hooks me up with a copy of it or something like that.
It's $30
hands
too.
look really, $30.
Yeah, I bought it. I really liked the first one. It was more of a nostalgia thing for me.
That's how I was too.
Like Shawn said, the Climb was one of the first 6-off, really good VR games. So when it came out, it was pretty good. And you remember, I don't know if you played the Climb one, but when you fall, there's nothing like falling in the Climb one. And he makes that scream, right? He's like, he's actually gonna die.
Right.
It's pretty immersive.
I actually want a more extreme mode. Like I want the mode where you fall all the way to the ground and like splat. Sweet. Like I want that to be toggle mode because some people might not be able to handle that, but I want that in VR. Like I like the extreme stuff. You know what I mean? Like I don't want it to just fall like 10 feet and then go black. Like I want to hit the ground. You know what I mean? Like I want to lose my stomach falling and hit the ground. That's just me. Maybe not. That might not be for everybody. I totally understand. But if you missed the very beginning, we do have a giveaway going on for the Climb. Link in the description. It is a Gleam giveaway, and somebody just won Hyperdash. We just sent them that code this morning. That was and Hyperdash. Oh, such a good game. So congrats to them. So Lisa VR says, I love jump scares. I have a love-hate relationship for jump scares. I love them because it's realistic and it actually it gets a real reaction out of you, but sometimes it's scary and I wet my pants a little, so that's not good. But
I'm such a wuss with horror in VR.
Me too.
I'm just such a baby. I can barely handle it.
Dude, it is the most realistic thing you will ever do in VR horror. It is so when you're scared, you forget it's not real. Like you can do anything else. You can do other things in VR and you're like, well, I know this isn't real. When you're scared, you forget. Like you forget that it's not real, and it is so immersive. It's crazy.
Well, and I have those feelings kicked up if I go to like a haunted house or something. It's an environment that's you're immersed in. You're designed to be scared in it. But when I'm in a haunted house, I can like imagine like what is like within the realm of possibility.
Yeah, that's
I'm like,
true.
okay, like they could rev a chainsaw, they could do this, they could do that. In VR, they can do anything.
Yeah, that's so true.
All of a sudden, like something just breaks out of the nether into your face, like out of nothing, So like the unknown in VR horror is what gets me. Like they can just manifest a creature 2 inches in front of my face right now if they feel like
that's so true. I mean, the real world, you're limited by physical, possibilities. I mean, like physics apply, everything apply in the real world. In VR, I mean, you can literally do anything. And, I mean, I especially hate VR when I don't have a weapon. If something scary is coming at me and I have a weapon, well, if I have a gun I can shoot it with or an axe or something, I feel safer. But when they put me in a horror game and I got nothing, that is like beyond, I think that's super scary. I don't know.
Do you remember like the second to last level of Half-Life Alex? You don't have a gun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying you don't have a gun.
It's so crazy that we still can't talk about Half-Life Alex so much because it's such a good game. You still can't spoil it because there's people that haven't played it yet. But man, I love that game. Yeah, that game was fantastic.
I just walked around with a frying pan going.
It is, dude. It's
when I was playing Skyrim VR, I had this whole plan to like have a sword in one hand and like fire in the other. I'll be like a mage at long range and like a sword wielder at close range. It's gonna be awesome. I had like this whole vision about how badass it's gonna be. And then I went face to face with the dragon and realized if I didn't have a shield, I didn't feel comfortable at all. Like, because I'm just there, you know, I like needed a shield on my left arm to hold up for when he's like breathing fire and stuff. So that way I felt protected. Like I can completely relate to that feeling. Like it does mean a lot to have.
It's just that sense of security that it gives you. It's crazy. So talking about
use mattresses when they're like trying to cover themselves from explosives.
Oh
like,
yeah,
that mattress I can stop.
Yeah. So talking about horror though, we learned a little bit about Wraith, the Oblivion. Some people put out a little bit of footage, and supposedly, you know, I haven't played this or anything. I haven't kept up with it a ton, but I have watched a lot of the videos and stuff that people put out, and a lot of people were saying like this is one of the scariest games that are going to be. I mean, I think probably the scariest game ever in VR is probably Resident Evil, right? On PSVR. Like, I don't know if anything's topped that. So I don't know if this is going to be able to compete with that level, but a lot of people are saying this is going to be a really scary game. So this is...
I'm going to have a hard time with this one.
I am too. Like, I like horror. I seriously have a love-hate relationship for horror games. Like, man, it's so scary. Like my adrenaline and stuff just gets pumping so hard. And I mean, I've literally had times in VR in horror games that I have to take the headset off for a second. Like I need a moment. Like okay, hang on, this is getting too intense. I pop it off for a little bit. And yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like Skeeva said, I'm a wuss when it comes to VR. So this is going to be a crazy one. So this is coming on April 22nd. Is going to have cross-buy, Steam version on May 25th, and PSVR later this year. So we don't have a whole lot longer to wait. April 22nd on Oculus platform and cross-buy. Gotta love cross-buy. That's if you ask me, it should be something that happens all the time on Oculus platform. But
agreed.
Man, when I get scared in these games, I like literally tap into like my survival instincts. Like I have to like dig deep, you know, like that moment comes where like I want to take the headset off and be like, okay, I need a break. But like I really try to endure. And that endurance moment, like when I'm like, okay, I'm going to push through, I'm like, I have to like dig. Like it's truly like inner work that is being done. you know, like it's amazing.
I think, I mean, so people that can do like hardcore VR horror games and it like not even like creep them out at all, like that blows my mind. Like I don't even understand that. Like I don't know how that's possible.
You know what they call those people? Liars.
Yeah, right. Seriously.
Alex Moretti, who's the CEO of I forget the company, but they make Affected the Manor. We met him at a conference and we interviewed him, and I asked him, I was like, yo, so like you're in there, you're making a horror game, you're testing it all the time, like are you desensitized or what? And he's like, totally, 100%. He's like, I can go in there and like it's like nothing, you know? And I'm just like, wow, like I guess you can get desensitized.
I guess if you do it long enough, and enough of it, I guess it's like anything that kind of, you know. But thank you for that. Coffee supporter Casual Ray bought us a coffee, and I definitely appreciate that. That is so cool. Thank you so much for that. So, yeah, I think this one's going to be exciting. I think I'm going to have to, like you said, dig deep and just push through this one because it looks creepy. And I think, like, the supernatural in VR creeps me out a lot, too, because, like you said, it can manifest anytime. Like, you never know when something's going to pop up. You never know, when something's going to happen. And one of the first things I ever played horror was that Sisters game back on, like, Google Cardboard. Before I ever even had PSVR or anything, I had an iPhone with a little plastic case that I put it in. I had really good headphones that I put on. It was the simplest little thing, but it still scared the crap out of me. Like I put my nephew in it and he literally threw the whole thing off of his head. I mean, he was pretty young. I don't know. I mean, he wasn't super young, but old enough to do it, but still super creepy. I took it into work. Like, a bunch of the guys at work are like, oh man, I'm not going to be scared. It's some stupid thing on a phone. Yeah. They were scared. Like it's ridiculous. So I can't wait. I think this is going to be cool.
I made it through the entire Resident Evil 7 game in VR. It was really hard.
Yeah.
But all the way to the end in VR, it was tough, but that game was just so good. I couldn't not.
I'm still mad that has not come to PCVR. Like, I thought for sure that was going to come. Yeah, it's so crazy. It's so crazy.
Imagine, like, if Rush of Blood came to PCVR.
Yeah, I wish all of those. I wish all of those. So much good stuff that Sony has. Reckoner VR says, a chair in a room is still worth checking out. That stands out as a great horror for me. I don't think I've tried that one, actually, so I'll have to try that.
How are you, dude?
What's up, Gary?
It's been a while.
Oh, man, yeah. Have you guys read his book?
Yes.
Such a good book.
So good.
Oh,
dude. I was like, what? This book is coming out like right when Ready Player 2 is coming out. And I read Gary's book first, and then I read Ready Player 2, and I was like, Ready Player 2 is garbage compared to Gary's book.
I totally agree.
Compared to the memory engine.
I totally agree. Yeah, it is so good. Recommended pickup. It's on Amazon. You can get the digital copy. I have the physical copy. Such a good book. Excellent book. You got to read it. I've been bugging him about hopefully getting a sequel. I hope he does that someday because I love the book. So, I mean, the ending, I'm not going to say what it was, but the ending blew my mind. Absolutely fantastic job he did on that book. I can't speak highly enough of it. Mame fan says that's me, talking about not being scared of horror games and being able to handle them. He said that's me, not a liar. So, but Mame fan, he's kind of a beast. I kind of believe him a little bit, but most people I don't know if I believe.
I would believe.
Yeah, he's that dude that you actually want to take with you when you go to like an actual scary place with axe murders and stuff. He's the dude you want with you, I feel like.
Yeah, so, he'd be chasing the chainsaw guy.
Yeah, right? I seriously think so. So yeah, he's the obscure nerd said horror VR with B haptics. That's got to be crazy. Have you guys done any of that? Any horror stuff with B haptics? I don't know that I could handle that, to be honest. I really don't know that I could.
Yeah, it's intense. I mean, at this point, like, I truly feel that like wearable haptic devices, once you have them, it's kind of one of those things where like once you do it, you don't go back. Like once you get the Rumble Pack on the N64 controller, you don't start using controllers that don't have the haptics. You know, like that's kind of where I feel like we're at right now with haptics in VR, and it makes everything just better, frankly. I wouldn't say it makes horror like any scarier. Like it's already super scary. Like
I feel like it would though. Like what about like, so my thought is like in Arizona Sunshine, like playing the horde mode. I remember first getting into that game, and I remember I was shooting these zombies. I was going to town, and something happened, and I turned around, and there was a zombie like right at my back, and I screamed, like I legit screamed. So my thought is, if something that touched you on your back, like that would be my thought, that you didn't know was there. Like I feel like that would intensify the horror.
It certainly, you know what, you're right. It does intensify it, and it certainly amps immersion levels to the maximum. Like when I'm in horror, my head is on a swivel. Like I am like every direction. Like I'm constantly like checking my sticks, like moving because I'm freaking out in there. And when something finally gets up close enough to like start hitting me, like I was playing Propagation VR with the haptics integration, which is super intense. And when something finally gets up close enough to start swinging, when it does hit and like the things are triggering, it's just like like the intensity gets ramped up a lot. You know, scariness I wouldn't say gets ramped up much, but intensity definitely does.
Yeah.
And there's this really great clip of Jen, my superior at bHaptics, playing a horror game in VR and having bHaptics connected to it, and she was like way too scared to play. So she like takes the headset off, but she's still in VR, so she felt the thing hit her, and she freaked out even though the headset's off.
Wow.
Like the headset's off, but she's still getting attacked.
Dude, so the first time, so I also have the facial interface, and the first time I got hit by a head crab in Half-Life Alyx, whoa, dude! I almost fell off my. So I usually play on this like on the Cyber Shoes stool. I almost fell right off the stool. I was like, it scared me so bad because I saw it coming like last minute coming at my face, and then I felt it, and it's like you just, oh my god, it's terrifying.
I feel like that would be a good way to break stuff in VR too. Like you said, like I mean, you hit your face or something trying to get it off, being so scared. So I did want to thank that other coffee supporter. I think it was JVC Toys. The bad thing is once those go away, I can't see them in chat or anything, but thank you for buying the coffee. That is super cool. Talking about horror games, I'm going to pop this code up here. This is Dread Halls, which is a great classic horror game. This is a Quest or Rift cross-buy. This is going to be a gift code, so you got to go to the game. You got to redeem gift code. Alex might be trying to redeem it right now. But so make sure you get that, pick it up. Super awesome. Random, somebody... you guys rock the spot. Thanks for all you do. So random, someone bought coffee. So thank you for that. That is really awesome. Really appreciate that. So somebody grab that Dread Halls code. If you do grab it, you can feel free to say who got it in the chat. You don't have to. I know some people don't say, but another one that has me pretty excited, and I don't think that it's actually a horror game, but I feel like it has some horror elements to it possibly. And this is Song in the Smoke. This is something that got released this week with the PlayStation stuff, the announcements, but this is coming to more than just PlayStation. Some of the stuff that got announced for PlayStation is coming to other platforms as well. So this is coming, I believe this is coming to Rift, So coming to Quest, Rift, and PCVR this year. And they said that it should be launching across these platforms around the same time, same day. You know, sometimes things come later, but this one should be coming at the same time. So this is a survival adventure game. I've looked into this quite a bit today. I listened to some stuff where the developer was actually on talking about the game, and it sounds really awesome. Actually, definitely a really cool art style in the game, and it reminds me of The Forest a little bit. It's going to be very survival, you know, crafting, making clothing and armor and weapons. So that I love did you guys play The Forest in VR?
Yeah,
we played a little bit. Yeah. Me and Alex went in there. That was kind of scary too,
that
man.
Is
Those
scary.
things come running at you. I'm like, run.
Have you got far enough to get like down deep into the caves and the caverns?
No,
it gets real creepy down there. There are some things down there that you don't want to see. Like, I mean, they're just scary stuff down there. But this game a little bit reminiscent of that, and I don't know. I think it's just the survival aspect. But this a lot more monster kind of things, and you know, lions and creatures that you have to battle instead of in that game. You know, it's like a zombie. I don't know what it is. You're on an island in the forest or something that is just really weird stuff. But there's, you know, in this you can see the bow. I love bow mechanics in VR, but you know, you're having to shoot animals and stuff and cook them to survive. And something happened kind of in this too, where you're trying to figure out in the game exactly what happened and why you're here, and some really creepy characters. But the game, it looks really good, and it's supposed to be coming this year, which is definitely exciting. They did
the vibes I get from it. It like has good vibes, good art style.
The
I feel
art's
like
beautiful.
This survival genre is like really getting popular right now, like across like all genres, VR and otherwise. Like there's that one game like Valheim, I think, was like the world's biggest game, and it like kind of reminds me of this, like similar art style, survival mechanics.
Right. So in the art style, you're talking about the art style. So this was I read this. 17-bit is working with, I'm not going to say this right probably, but Katsuya Terada, who is known for his artwork featured in The Legend of Zelda, Blood, The Last Vampire, and The Monkey King. So definitely a well-known artist that did a lot of work in this game. I think did a lot of the creatures and all kinds of different stuff. So I think that's really cool to see, you know, some bigger name people in VR that have done a lot of artwork for other really big titles. I think that's exciting to see. I mean, I think the Quest platform doesn't really, I'm trying to think, they don't really have a survival kind of a game that I can really think of, you know, with crafting and, you know, having to eat to survive and making your own weapons. And this, I think this is going to be kind of a new thing that's going to come to the Quest. I think a lot of people are going to be really excited for. And this,
I think so too.
Yeah, it looks really good.
I think I'm going to wish I had a homie in there.
Yeah. You know what it reminds me? It reminds me of The Legend of Zelda, the newer one on the Switch, but like darker.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So this is what they say about the game. They say it puts you headfirst into a world filled with prehistoric beasts where you're tasked with crafting, scrounging, and hunting to survive. If the trailer is any indication, it looks like you'll be doing a fair bit of fighting with wild animals too. So, yeah, I think this is the
prehistoric part. It might be dope to have a huge T-Rex come bursting out of the jungle at you.
Yeah, might be kind of scary. So, like you mentioned, the multiplayer, I think as far as I've read, it's just a single player, which is kind of a bummer because that was one of the great things about The Forest was the multiplayer, and that made it, I mean, that's why I played The Forest so much, is because me and Tyler would go in there and we would play for hours and hours trying to get, you know, I mean, there was so much to learn with all the crafting and things you could do. I mean, there was so much stuff you could build and stuff. I mean, you could make hang gliders and stuff in The Forest. I mean, it was awesome. So that is, it's hard because I want that in every game, you know, and I know you guys are the same way too. The multiplayer co-op stuff, like that is just what my heart's desire is for like every VR game. And I know maybe not everybody's that way, but I just think that VR is so social that it's a whole nother experience when you get to play these games with somebody else and you get to share these memories and be like, dude, look what I found over here. You know, your buddy walks over and looks at it, or you hand it over to him. You know, it's just such a powerful tool of social. Yeah. So that's why I just hope going forward that more developers start to do more co-op multiplayer stuff. And still have single player modes too. I mean, I think that is essential as well, because not everybody wants multiplayer, but give the option of both. Right. You know, I just think that in the long term, I think the games that last the longest a lot of times, I guess not always, but a lot of times, are games that are multiplayer games, you know, that people keep playing all the time because of that, you know. So
the most powerful relationships I've made in my life have been through gaming, like VR and otherwise. Like games have a way of bonding people like warriors on a battlefield a lot of times.
And especially VR. especially VR.
Yeah, especially VR because of the level of immersion, you know. But if you look at like gaming as a whole across the board, like the world's most popular games are ones where people are effortlessly and easily able to meet up with their friends and be a part of a team together. You know, you look at stuff like League of Legends and you know, Fortnite and like these like massive games where millions of people are playing them. They didn't start playing that because they wanted to build a structure and shoot people. They built it because they knew they could get in there with their friends. That's why they wanted to play that game. And that is what attracts people.
And
at
that's
the end
why
of the
they're
day.
still playing it. Like all those games are still being played all the time. You know
So
what I mean?
multiplayer is, in my opinion, it's something that really, if you want to have a game that like lasts a long time and has like a life and has a community, if it's not multiplayer, it will not happen. Yeah, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's something about seeing your friend, like not just on a flat screen, but seeing the presence of your friend standing next to you within a game that you're playing that sells the experience even more. So.
You know, people often talk about like big screen and like the paradox of being in a movie theater and having a social experience, but also being encouraged to not say anything because you're like watching a movie together. And personally, I just like to share the space. Like sharing that virtual space to me is almost like sharing physical space. And it's like it's the same vibe as if you're sitting next to your friend on the couch. Like we don't need to speak in order to enjoy social VR or multiplayer VR together. Even just sharing the space alone is enough to connect energies and to like vibe on it. You know what I mean?
Totally agree. I mean, hopefully it's something that gains more and more traction as we go. But I mean, I think, you know, VR still is young. So a lot of these things, you know, the developers and everything are still figuring out, but it's definitely, it's just, I can't speak enough about it. So I did pop up these, the Patreons. I did want to thank them. I don't feel like we thank them enough. Skeeva is a longtime Patreon supporter. Huge thank you to you, as well as everybody on the screen: Mary Waters, Sam Rush Reality, Arthur Knox. We got Jesse Custer, Juha Lena, and Skeeva. I already said that. Rizzle Rock, huge supporter. So thank you so much. We've been trying to do a little bit more Patreon for a long time. We really didn't do much at all with it. We've been putting some more stuff up there. We got some plans for it. There's also a Steam key, I believe, on Patreon that we've just posted the other day that I don't think anybody's got yet. I'm not sure yet. Somebody might have, but I don't think it is. So there could be a Steam key still up for grabs on the Patreon. So definitely huge thank you to all of the supporters for Patreon. All right.
Support coffee and VR because, in my opinion, this is the second best? No, the best VR podcast.
Well, thank you. I do appreciate that. There's so many good ones. I mean, really there are. And everybody does. Wolf Raza is Jesse Custer. I did not realize that. So thank you, Wolf Raza. He's super active on the Discord. He's doing a ton of really cool stuff. He's been throwing some pictures up and stuff on there. So really appreciate him. But I do think that there's a lot of podcasts now for VR stuff, but everybody does stuff a little bit different, and they're all worth watching. And even if you don't catch them live, you know, they're great to listen to even in the car, you know, during the week. Like a lot of them, like F Reality, for example, I often don't make their show live because it's after ours, and I'm up, you know, 6 a.m. I'm doing this. By the time we're done with the show, you know, I have real life I got to catch back up on. So I usually listen to them a lot of times during the week. You know, there's so much good stuff out there. So definitely check it out. And with Between Realities, I think you guys do things even a little bit more different because you guys usually have a guest on every Friday. So and it's a lot of times interview style with them, and it's usually somebody that's pretty big in the community. So I think it's really worth checking out. I think it's really cool. Like I said, everybody does stuff so differently, makes it interesting, and it makes, I think, all of them worth watching. So
I like using the phrase favorite, you know, like when we say best, it like kind of like almost makes this like competitive nature, you know, like
and
what's the best one?
Like it's not.
But it's like
we're
what's my
friends.
favorite one, because everyone kind of brings something a little different. And I'm allowed to have a favorite. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, that's okay. That's all right. But I mean, and it really isn't a competition. Like all of us that do all the podcasts, like we're all friends. You know what I mean? Like we all help each other out when we can. You know, you come on the show. You know, we've been on your show in season 1, I think. So you know, we're all friends. We all are kind of in this together. That's kind of the way I see it, at least.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. So I did want to mention real quick, Doom 3 coming to PSVR, and this is not the Team Beef version. So Team Beef did their version of this game, and it's on SideQuest, so you can play this on your Quest, and I totally recommend it. Excellent job they've done. Definitely worth picking up on your Quest. But this is not by them, as far as I understand, for the PSVR version. I guess they were kind of both working on it at the same time, and they should have teamed up together because Team Beef is absolutely amazing, and they probably could have done this port themselves. But pretty cool that it's coming officially to PSVR. I hope that sometime it can come officially to Quest 2. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I would love to even see the Team Beef version 1 be approved for App Lab. I don't know that that's going to happen either. It just makes it a little bit simpler for some people to be able to do it, and probably not, because the way you do it with side quests, you actually have to have the Steam version of the game to get the core files. So I don't know how that would work with App Lab. It'd be a little tricky, but yeah, definitely worth picking up. Excellent game in VR, horror game for sure.
This to me is like, this is great this is just like pure PSVR owner goodness. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, if you're not a PSVR owner, it probably makes more sense for you to play this, I'm guessing, on the Quest, because the Quest can probably handle it. It's Doom 3. It's a little bit of an older game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if they had to like take too many hits on like the graphical fidelity.
They did an excellent job on the port. I mean, they really did. It looks good. I don't know if you guys have played this on the Quest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say they did an awesome job. It's definitely worth picking up on the Quest. And
So
you can
I've
buy
actually
it.
been waiting, but it's because I've been in close communications with Team Beef, and they may or are implementing full bHaptics compatibility with Doom 3 on Quest.
Oh man, it just keeps getting better.
It's gonna be here like any day. Like, in fact, I'm pretty sure it's like available for me to test right now. It's super exciting.
With that bHaptics, you got to order the gauntlet things and the face thing all separate, right?
It's all separate. All luck parts.
But here's the thing. There's the vest, there's the face, the arms, the hands, and the feet. Feet and hands, not enough stuff out there. There is a couple, especially like the Population 1 mod uses everything. So if you have it, you can use it in Pop 1, and it's cool.
Is my wife in chat? I need to see if I can get approval to just go ahead and order one right now.
No.
Like, are you gonna like? I spend a lot of money on VR. Like, I seriously spend way too much money. So to drop another $500, you know what I mean? She might be like, "What are you doing?" So if she's in there, just give me like a wink or something. She might not be watching though right now. She's out shopping, doing grocery shopping.
Best
So.
arm face is the combo.
Yeah,
that's the one that
face.
most games have the integration of, and it's enough to where you don't feel like you're missing something.
And
oftentimes you get the vest and you're like, you realize that, I can feel this, but then you get a headshot and there's nothing. And there's like a huge disconnect. So it's kind of a slippery slope, because once you get one, you realize that you're missing haptic feedback in other places on your body, and you kind of want to get it.
Huh.
So so watch
total?
that wallet.
What's the total for all three of those?
It's $499 for the X40, $299 for the X16. So you can choose which vest you want to get. And then the tactile for faces, $149, and the Tactosi for arms are $199.
That adds up quick.
Yeah, dude.
Whew,
yeah,
that
it
adds
does.
up quick.
It does.
So we did just get another Patreon, so I'll have to add them into the thing. Nybor Tims, NYBORHTIMS. It's so hard, I can't always pronounce these names, so I feel bad if I mess them up. But thank you so much. Just joined the Patreon. That is really cool. So thank you for that. One of these games. Well, actually, let's get into.
But before we move off of Doom 3,
sorry,
I just wanted to throw in there that this is, I think this is super cool, because what a lot of people don't realize is the very first game to ever be in VR was actually Doom 3, right?
Yeah.
Palmer Luckey and John Carmack were demoing this as like, check out VR, and you went into Doom 3, and because of lawsuits with ZeniMax and like all this legal suit crap, you know what I mean? Like it never came to VR. And so I found this really interesting that it's coming to PSVR.
That is cool, like a full circle kind of thing.
Yeah. You know, when Dr. Beef made this port, I was like, oh, this is great, because ZeniMax is never going to allow this to come out in VR for some reason. I don't know why, and then right after, I couldn't believe that it got announced to the PSVR. So this is interesting. It's a little bit of VR nostalgia there in history.
For sure.
So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome. So PSVR, they're going to, man, I'm telling you, they're going to kill it. There's going to be so much
drop
good
the
stuff.
mic, man.
Yeah. So one of the things I asked you guys before the show is what you guys were most excited for, some of the news that came out that got you most excited. Skeeva mentioned the PSVR 2. We talked about that. Alex, I think you mentioned Demeo, or is that how you say it? Demeo, yeah. Demeo? Yeah, I'm not even sure. But so this is from Resolution Games, no slouch in the VR industry. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this game, Alex, and what's got you so excited about it?
Yeah, I'm one of those dudes that loves, like, the sword and board, spells, dragons, like the Dungeons and Dragons, MMOs. Like, I love that whole universe. I love playing a class. I love card games like Magic the Gathering. I've been playing Magic the Gathering online lately against one of my friends, like super like old rudimentary program, but I just love those card games and stuff. And the tabletop genre has there's so much potential there, but honestly, it's kind of not had a lot of representation, I would say, in the VR catalogs. There's a couple of them out there, but certainly nothing that's like hit the community and like everyone jumped on, you know? Like you said, Resolution Games has been known for making some great, easily accessible easily accessible multiplayer titles. And this looks like the best company I can think of to make a game like this. It looks like a combination of some like Hearthstone, Magic the Gathering card casting with some Dungeons and Dragons dice rolling and combat phases. It's multiplayer, so you're sitting around like a dungeon with all of your friends and working together in a party, and somebody's the ranger and somebody's like the healer, and like, yes, like this is my kind of game. I am super stoked. I need this in my life as soon as possible.
Aspen Darkfire just bought a coffee and said my message on Skeeva's face. That's awesome. Thank you for that. Thank you, Aspen Darkfire. I love it. Yeah, he's an awesome guy. He does so much cool stuff with why can't I think of the name? The best game ever last year.
Half-Life Alex. Yeah,
Half-Life Alex. He does a lot of stuff, videos on that, modding and stuff. He's been doing a lot of modding stuff in there, really cool stuff. So check out his stuff as well.
This game is in his wheelhouse too.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you for that. I just wanted to, sorry to interrupt, but yeah, I mean, I totally agree. Even a game like Poker Stars VR, right? Like I don't even really know how to play poker, but I still love to go into that game just for sitting around the table with the other people and, you know, talking and everything else. So I think a tabletop game like this, I think you're right. Like there's not enough of this in VR, and watching this trailer and being able to sit around this thing with other people and be able to play this game and battle it out and stuff. I think this is a genre that is, like you said, there's not a lot of it in VR, and I think, you know, they're going to probably do a really good job with this game, and hopefully I can learn how to play it. Some of these games I don't always like. Some of the, you know, the Magic games and stuff like that, they're so complicated. Like even Pokemon, like I was trying to play a Pokemon card game with my nephew. He loves Pokemon, but I'm like, I have no idea how to play Pokemon, you know, so I was trying to look it up. I'm like, this is complicated. Like there is a lot to this, you know what I mean? So,
and he's going to trash you. Like this looks like something that is cooperative. So like maybe it's a little complicated, but I can just pull you in and be like, okay, we're going to do this together, me and you, like not me trounce you while you try.
I hope that is. Yeah. I hope that is how it is.
It looks like a cooperative experience.
Yeah.
It says like find a fellowship, you know, I'm all about fellowship.
This looks really cool. It really does. There's something about, do you remember the game for Oculus that came out? And it blows my mind that it's not on the Quest because it's so good, but it was called Brass Tactics.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And it's another game where you have a table and you move around the table and you make things happen. It was so good, man.
Why isn't that on Quest? Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not on the Quest. It would be an amazing Quest title.
Yeah.
But either way, I think this is going to be really good. I like what they did with the cards and how you sit around the table with your friends, and it's more of a social experience too. So this will be good.
Yeah, I think this is good. I mean, it's supposed to be coming this year. I don't remember if we have an exact date. Man, I'm looking at my notes and there's so much stuff I want to talk about still. This is crazy.
Just go. Just jump into it, man.
So much. It's a good problem to have.
Yeah, it really is. It is a good problem. So, but yeah, I definitely think this one's going to be a good one. There's so much good stuff coming. Just so much. But there's this one. Let me see if I can find it. I got so much stuff in here.
Mr. Sheeb knows. How's it going? So many legends in your chat. So many awesome
so many good
people.
stuff. So many good people for sure. All right. Well, I guess we're just going to get into while I try to find it. So did you guys see this? The Zombieland Headshot Fever trailer?
What the heck, man?
No.
What the heck?
Man, I don't know. Like, I feel like this is something that looks a little bit like 2016.
Cash grab
in VR.
Huge cash grab. This is terrible.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
If you're going to make a zombie game in 2021, you better be bringing something to the table that's close to 2021.
Super chat.
I mean, that's close to
Arthur Knox. He said, this game makes me think that LARPing will be the killer app for AR. What do y'all think? Never even thought of that. That never crossed my mind. But
Lightning bolt.
Actually, that could be a big thing, actually. That really could be when AR is like mainstream. Yeah, that could definitely add some to the LARPing aspect, I guess. That never even crossed my mind. Oh man, that's crazy.
Zombieland.
Dude, this game's gonna flop on its face. I don't understand what they're doing. Like, you better bring something better than Saints and Sinners if you're going to attempt a zombie
Saints,
game
Saints
in 2021. What are you doing?
Saints and Sinners set that bar. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. So it's, in collaboration with Sony Pictures, an arcade shooter coming to most VR headsets this spring. It says inspired by classic 90s light gun games like Time Crisis 2, House of the Dead 2, Zombieland, Headshot Fever, designed to be fast-paced, frantic single-player shooter and single-player. Throw that out there, where you don't need to wander around. All the zombies come straight to you, which... I mean, that's basically a better way of saying it's a wave shooter, right?
Inspired by low-quality wave shooters.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel bad because I haven't played the game. Maybe it's going to be a lot better than it looks. It's just, I don't know. It doesn't give me much hope. There's an indie developer
out there that has like a cousin that works at Paramount Picture or like Sony Pictures or whatever, and you hit him up and he's like, "Yo, dude, I just put together a wave shooter. Like, you guys got any dead IPs laying around?" And they're like, Zombieland? You want to try that?
Zombieland's such a good movie
you could
too.
Put Woody Harrelson on the front of your
the voice acting. So I was watching this trailer and like they try to pull off Woody Harrelson's voice and it's not even close.
Oh yeah.
Like they didn't even get the voice acting well. Like they just, this isn't going to be very good, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't have super high hopes. Man, there's one game I want to talk about. I don't see where I have the trailer, and the trailer looks so good.
Just take your time.
And it's going to bum me out if I don't have it. I was going to add it in real quick.
Man, yeah, I feel like, The Walking Dead Onslaught came out and fell on its face because Saints and Sinners, and this is going to do the same.
Totally.
Arizona Sunshine is another great zombie game.
And that's been out since
really
2016, and that is one of the better ones. And that's been out for a long time. Right, for sure. So Steve Knows is up in the house, said, just wanted to shout out because I can't handle this collab. So that is awesome. Thank you so much.
VR's sweetheart or what?
Hell yeah.
Somebody actually once said in one of my videos that when I was turned to the side or something like that they couldn't tell the difference between me and Steve Knows. And it was probably, before the crazy beard, but I was like, I've gotten a lot of weird things of who I remind people of, or my voice, my looks and everything, but that was the first one.
Every time I listen to your show and I guess watch it, but she hears it, my fiance, soon to be wife, says that she calls you Ray Romano. She's like, hey, it'll be like 8 a.m. and I'm like watching the show and she'll like roll over in bed and she'll be like, no Ray Romano.
Deborah. Oh man, I haven't heard that one. There's one that I get all the time that is a football player, and I can't remember his name now because I'm not big into football. Really? But I looked him up, and it was like my voice does sound a lot like his. Like it's pretty similar. And somebody will mention it probably. I can't remember who it was. But yeah. But thank you, Steve Knows, for that super chat. That was awesome. So I don't have the trailer. I'm gonna have to throw it into. I don't know if I could download it, but I wanted to talk about this because Hubris. Wolf Raza has been talking about it in our Discord, and he mentioned it. And I was like, I don't know what this is. And I looked it up. I couldn't really find anything. And then they finally put a trailer out, and it looks ridiculous. It looks so good. And I don't have the video. So, but this is coming to PC VR and PSVR, and it looks like a mix of like No Man's Sky. And if you've ever played, have you guys played From Other Suns, an Oculus title from back in the day?
I remember when that came out.
It's
but I
awesome.
Never played it.
It's like 4-player
No Man's
co-op.
Sky took my life away for a while there.
Oh man, it's so good. But yeah, From Other Suns, if anybody hasn't played that, it's a great game to go back and play. It's 4-player co-op. You can play through the whole game in co-op. Me and Tyler beat the whole game together. Awesome game. But man, I'm so bummed I didn't get that trailer. But Hubris VR, look up the trailer. It looks ridiculous. I mean, it looks so good, and it's supposed to be coming 2021, and they're calling it like a sci-fi adventure game. With an impressive looking trailer released this week. Like I said, it's a single player adventure, which kind of stinks, but fully explorable world where you can climb, swim, jump, run around as you please. You'll encounter a wide variety of creatures, some friends, some foe, alien wildlife, humanoids, mechanized enemies. And like any good survival experience, you'll have to keep an eye out on resources to craft weapon and useful tools. Look up the trailer. I'll put it in the Discord if Wolf Raza wants to throw the trailer in there now.
Dang.
Looks absolutely amazing. And the trailer, like the graphics, and I'm sure some of it is in engine. It's not all probably in game, but it looks really, really good. And they're going to release it in like an episodic kind of a thing. So the first one is going to be a part 1. It's supposed to launch fall 2021, Valve Index Vive, Rift, Windows Mixed Reality headset, and PlayStation VR. So, I mean, you got to look it up. I'm so bummed I don't have the trailer, but yeah.
Question there for you, Shawn. What do you think about all of these episodic releases we're getting? I feel like, me personally, I feel like it's a little cheap. I feel like they're like, we need money now.
but we want money later too. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't love the episodic thing. Yeah, I don't love it. I would rather just get a game and then maybe them do some DLCs for it, down the road, stuff like that. But the whole episodic thing, it depends. It would have to be a really, really good game, because usually after the first one, then I maybe pick up the second one, and by the third one, I'm kind of over it. You know what I mean? And it's like I've moved on to something else. So
you make a good point when you say the DLC way, because why release an entirely separate title? I guess you could just access, somebody could skip the first one and just go straight to the second episode or something.
How would you do that?
Exactly.
If you start on season 2, right, of a show.
The DLC seems to be a way better way to do it. A paid DLC to unlock additional content. It just would clean everything up. It would make things so much simpler, be way easier to digest.
Yep, I agree. I'm not a big fan of the episodic stuff. I think, like you said, I think sometimes it is a money thing. They need money now, but the game isn't done yet. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's weird. I don't know.
Is this new game episodic? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah. Yep. It is going to be an episodic. So that kind of, but the trailer looks really, really good. It does have me pretty excited. I got to be honest. So I don't know that I'll pick up all the episodes, but I will probably at least pick up the first episode. I think it'll be worth it. But yeah.
I love watching these mugshots scroll by the way.
The mugshots are one of my life's happiest things. I don't know what it is. And
they're great.
I can't remember now who it was that came up with the name mugshots. It was in an early episode of Coffee and VR, and we were doing this kind of thing, and somebody said you should call it mugshots. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. But if you don't know what it is, it's on our Discord, and you can throw in your mugshots. It's a mugshots section, and it doesn't have to be anything rendered reality related or anything. It just whatever you want. Get creative. I love the creative stuff people do with any kind of coffee mug, any kind of thing VR related. We just love to see them, and I always try to get them on the show. I just think they're awesome. I need to go back through and do a video with every single one we've ever got, but Arthur Knox really cool.
Again,
it's
man. A window.
Arthur Knox, this is I don't even know how many super chats he's done today. He said, for the community, do y'all think a DC universe will be a good VR game idea? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who's gonna say no to that?
Who doesn't want to be Superman, Batman? Come on, are you kidding me? That'd be amazing.
Somebody said in your chat yesterday about the B haptic suit, about a Batman video with the B haptic suit, because it looks, you look almost like Batman with the B haptic suit. And I was saying I need the B haptic suit just so I can look ripped. You know what I mean? I'll wear it under my shirt. Shredded. Yeah, I'll wear it under my shirt. Yo, I got jacked. You know what I mean?
The only time I've ever had a six-pack.
Right. Yeah. Seriously. So get to the Choppa VR. Love that guy. He said episodes do not work. If you release a second part a year or two later, it will already be behind the times of what the current level of quality is elsewhere on other games. They do not work. And yeah, that is, it's solid points. Yeah. So Gamer Chick 13 of Diet Pepsi Cat said, can't we all agree that every game is episodic in that a sequel will come out if enough money is made? That's true. If a game is good enough and enough money is made, then they're going to do something else after that, whether it's a sequel or, another game completely different. But yeah, if you make a good enough game, you're going to make money, right? You don't have to do an episodic thing. If you make a good enough game, people are going to buy it, and it's going to have a long lifespan, and you're going to make money. Look at Beat Saber.
I hate to compare this to the world's best game, but I like to look at something like Grand Theft Auto, because they didn't rewrite their formula with each game that they came out with, but each one had it was very distinctly different, so much so that but it doesn't necessarily replace the old one. We could go and play Vice City, and there would be reasons to love and enjoy Vice City versus, Grand Theft Auto 5. Maybe there's just riding on the bike in Vice City it's great, has great physics for that or whatever. So they don't necessarily replace. It does, but they're just it's just an evolution, and
evolution.
No one's afraid to purchase the newest Grand Theft Auto, It's they know it's such a step up. It's going to be so different. They're going to add so much to the already good formula without destroying the formula that they're just confident in buying it.
And we all want it so bad already. We've all been waiting for the next. Grand Theft Auto. The GTA 6. How long, or 5? Is it 5? 6? Whatever it is.
5's been out forever.
Yeah, it's 5. So how long? That's been. I was playing that like crazy back on Xbox before any kind of VR or anything like that. It's been so long.
I beat that game originally on PS3.
Jeez.
It's been out for a long time.
Was it PS3?
Yeah,
I didn't even,
it was PS3. Yep.
Dang, that's insane.
And now, I'll tell you what, though. I would swallow my tongue if GTA 6 comes out and it doesn't have VR support. I'm pretty positive. I feel like they did the VR case files just to figure it all out. The Noir game or whatever it was.
But LA Noir. That was good, actually. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Brandon in chat says that it came out September 2013.
Yeah, I remember that.
What? That is insane.
Bought
I
it on
didn't
release
see.
day.
That is crazy. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So, all right, let's keep rolling here. That way, hopefully, because we still got to talk about the HTC stuff, and I want to spend some time in that for a little bit. But there is this game that I played this week, another game I played this week, and it's on Steam. And this is actually, well, she was putting on a Quest there. It is coming to Quest too, but it's not out on Quest yet. It's only on Steam. But this is called All-in-One Sports. And it's actually really good. And if you look at the reviews on Steam, it's got really good reviews, very Wii Sports-ish. And they did a great job on the physics and stuff in the game of what they've done with it. I think it's better than, what's the one that's on the Quest, the sports game that's on the Quest? Sports Scramble. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I personally like it better than Sports Scramble. They have, right now the sports they have in it are archery, billiard, baseball, basketball, badminton, bowling, boxing, dart, golf, and ping pong. So they have a lot in there right now, and there is multiplayer. So you can actually do PvP multiplayer. Not all of them have it. I think the ones that don't have it is the boxing, baseball, and table tennis don't have multiplayer yet.
Boxing and table tennis? What?
So the boxing isn't regular though. So you see right here, the boxing is actually almost like a Beat Saber VR kind of a thing, and it's pretty cool. But it's not like actual boxing. But so I think pretty much everything. I think some of my favorites were the archery. The archery was really cool because you kind of have like a scoped kind of a thing, and then you follow the arrow almost all the way into the thing when you shoot it. I think that is really cool. So you have player customization. The game is $29.99 on Steam, but luckily for the people that watch this show, we have 3 codes to give away. So 3 Steam codes to give away for this game.
Both get one.
Yeah, so you triple your chances to pick this up. I think it is really, really cool, and I'm excited for this to come to the Quest because I do think that this is going to be an excellent game for the Quest. Obviously, I think that, especially with the multiplayer and stuff like that. I mean, Wii Sports is such a iconic kind of a thing, and I think this very much has the Wii Sports feeling. You know, it has that kind of feeling to it.
Wii Sports sold the Wii.
Right.
The reason
it also came with the Wii.
Yes, well, that's true,
yeah.
but that's why people bought them.
True.
I mean, the Wii was like the highest selling console ever when it was happening, and it's because,
still is.
You know, mom and dad loved bowling. So when I saw this, like you were saying, like Wii Sports, totally. Like this seems like the game that, like, when mom and dad finally get the Quest, or you like hit them up and you're like, all right, you ready to jump into All-in-One Sports? And you can spend like an hour like going through all the different ones, playing different stuff together. It's approachable. Nobody's getting motion sickness. You know, like this looks like one of those great like go-to with the fam kind of VR games.
And especially with the Quest, I think, you know, so many people have the Quest now, you know, in younger generation and families. I mean, I know families that have multiple Quests now, you know what I mean? Like it's a great thing. And especially like long distance family stuff, you know, to be able to play a game like this that is approachable for everyone. You know, not everybody can play Population 1. Not everybody can play Saints and Sinners or whatever, you know what I mean? So a game that is approachable easily for everybody, I think is an excellent thing. And I don't think there's enough kind of Wii Sports stuff. I mean, the bowling is really good. I mean, the physics in the game felt good. Like things felt good when you play, and I think that is good. It's still in early access. They still have plans. They said they plan to be in early access for about 3 months. They have plans to add stuff. I think they even have plans to add multiplayer to the modes that don't have multiplayer yet. So that'll be coming to all of those. But I definitely think it's worth looking into. Like I said, the reviews on Steam are very, very good. Hopefully some people got these codes. I don't know who all got them, but we had.
Well, sports is definitely a lacking genre in VR. So I'm glad to see stuff like this.
And it can be hard to decide what to get, right? Like there's 11 table tennis, there's sports scramble, there's this, there's that, and they all kind of just focus on one set of physics. You know, like you get 11 table tennis, all you're doing is playing table tennis in that title.
Great game, by the way.
It is great, but maybe you can get this, and you don't have to buy all of them. You can just play this, and it sounds like the reviews are good. If they really did get really smooth physics for each game, then I mean, they might corner the market for a minute with this.
And I think they'll probably even continue to improve the physics. I think they're going to improve everything. It is still early access. And the boxing was actually pretty cool. It took me a little while because I play a lot of FitXR, which used to be Box VR. So the timing in this felt a little bit different. And there was one section where the notes were lower, and I didn't realize that I was supposed to crouch to punch those notes because I was missing them and stuff. But the more I played it, it did start to feel good. And it's very Beat Saber-ish, you know, but you don't have Beat Sabers. But it was cool. I don't know. It was pretty cool. It was definitely wasn't what I expected. And when I saw boxing, I thought I was going to be in a boxing ring. But if you want to box, pick up Thrill to Fight, because that
when mom's like, when you ask mom if
we
we can get Beat Saber, and she's like, we have Beat Saber at home. that's the game. It's like we have Beat Saber at home. Like you don't have to spend $30 on Beat Saber. Just get all-in-one sports. You get that plus table tennis plus this. I would not be surprised if a lot of parents like scoop that up for their kid. Like, there you go.
I think it'll be a good selling title. For sure.
It'll be a good game especially for kids, families, people who want to play together.
$30 is a little high.
I agree, but
really at the
you're kind of the top
of the game.
But I mean, you are getting a lot of games in one.
Yeah,
but I mean, $30 is a little. Like you said, it's the higher end, but hopefully for 3 people, they didn't have to pay for it all. So 3 people got codes. I don't know who those people were, but yeah,
Me and
definitely.
Alex,
got one. Us 3. I grabbed one, and you guys got the other one.
Keep picking it.
So if you did pick this game up, let me know what you think about it, or if you got the codes, I would like to know other people's thoughts other than just my own and I guess the Steam reviews. Hopefully they're accurate. So see what everybody thinks. Let's see here. I know we got a couple more things to get into before HTC stuff. I'm really excited to talk about HTC stuff. We talked about that. Let me see here. Oh, After the Fall. I almost forgot about After the Fall. After the Fall is probably my most anticipated game ever, or last year whenever it got released. I mean, did I not get that trailer either? I'm going to kill myself. Oh my goodness, come on. I'm slacking. But After the Fall, so we got more info out in After the Fall, and that is the reason I've been so excited for After the Fall is because 4-player co-op. Enough said.
Co-op's a big deal. That's a big
huge.
deal, man. Especially 4-player. That's awesome.
Yeah, between realities, rendered reality, 4-player co-op destruction session.
Seriously.
Like, oh my gosh, like let's go.
That's happening.
Play the whole game straight through. I'm not even kidding. Like that
One sitting.
Do it.
Yeah, I mean, one of the best games that I can think of that I remember is Arizona Sunshine. Playing that whole thing in co-op with me and Tyler, and that was one of the best memories I have in VR. And this is just, oh my goodness, it has me so excited. And I don't know how I did not get that trailer.
I agree. I mean, co-op just brings so much. And, with Arizona Sunshine, I remember when they put out the co-op and it was 2-player, and then they put out a 4-player co-op mode, which is just for hordes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it would have been super awesome going through that whole game with like 4 people, right? 3 are your friends. So this is really going to scratch that itch, I think. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. And I mean, there's also like Carnage Chronicles out there is another one that comes to mind for me. 4-player co-op, dungeon crawler. But that's like definitely like dungeon crawler vibes. What are the vibes in After the Fall? Is it also dungeon crawler-esque or what?
I'm going to try to grab this trailer real quick that way, because I mean, this is one of the highlights that I want to talk about on the show. So to not have it...
Yeah. I think it's like post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, it is. So it's like in a post-apocalyptic world.
After the fall, I guess.
Yeah. So I mean, in the trailers and stuff, it shows a lot of like snow stuff and all of that. I'm gonna try to get this in here real quick. Sorry, this usually doesn't happen.
You are doing great right now.
I'm usually good at making sure all this stuff is in. But man, I don't know. So I started on a lot of this last night. I was working on a lot of this last night, and then I get up at like 6 a.m. To finish things up in the morning, and I don't know what I did.
Scene, so that way if we needed to do anything, he just like jumps on the online, full screens of video on YouTube or something, and calls it good. But Shawn's doing this legit. Like he just went snagged this video, threw it in the show. Like you guys would be impressed if you could see what I can see right now.
So remember when this game was announced? So this game was announced. It's called After the Fall, right? But right before this, there was at the same time. I feel like Until You Fall was announced. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like that the sword game. So it was a really confusing thing. It's like Until You Fall's coming and After the Fall is coming.
I totally agree.
It's very confusing.
That must be so frustrating for those developers.
Yeah.
Who think they have got a great title name, and then they announce it, and the next day, but some other developer names a title that's so similar to the name of yours.
What are the chances? I feel like sometimes I wonder if they do that stuff on purpose.
Right.
But both of the titles make perfect sense to me, especially now. After the Fall, post-apocalyptic, that makes sense. And then Until You Fall is you don't stop.
Until you fall.
You continuously fight.
There's a lot of falling in VR, apparently.
Yes, we got to stop falling.
All right. Let me throw this up here. I got it.
Right.
I don't know how I missed it, but this is like the newest trailer. This is the cinematic version, is what they're calling it. Yeah, so I mean, you're going to see a lot of cinematic stuff from the game, but I mean, it looks absolutely insane. Like if you see the thumbnail, so like the monster guy in the thumbnail is both of the images in the thumbnail are from this game, and this is from the Arizona Sunshine developers. This is the same people that made Arizona Sunshine. So this has been something they've been working on for a long time. And like we said, they did such a good job with Arizona Sunshine in 2016. Like Arizona Sunshine kind of paved the way for a lot of other games because they did stuff early that nobody was doing yet, right? And the game still holds value today.
Still good.
Yeah, like
Fantastic
the game is still one of the
day.
best VR games out there to this day. So I
Beautiful
think,
looking too.
yeah,
Gorgeous
I think
game.
this gives a lot of credence to to these developers, to this game, of how good I think this game is truly going to be. And honestly, the thing is, it's the 4-player co-op. That's what has me so excited for this game. A post-apocalyptic world where you're guns and you're fighting with friends to survive. It's just that's what has me so excited. Like just the memories that me and Tyler have in Arizona Sunshine. I still remember going down into the what was it, the caves, the tunnel area, the mines, yeah. And all there was a flashlight and a glow stick. And I grabbed the flashlight before Tyler could, and all he had was a glow stick. And he was freaking out down there because you can't see crap with the glow stick down there if you don't have a flashlight. And it was creepy. Like, it was creepy.
Scary.
And that was the
That
early
mind
days
level.
of VR. Yeah, like it was so good. So this, I mean, just watching this cinematic trailer has me so amped. Like, I cannot wait. I just can't wait.
Can I say that it's giving me Half-Life Alex vibes?
It does.
Can I say that?
It does a little bit. Like, I think
I'm not saying it's going to be Half-Life
No,
Alex,
no.
but this trailer, like, it's giving me those vibes.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, it definitely has like that apocalyptic kind of something went wrong in the world kind of vibe like Half-Life Alex does. So this is summer of 2021 is what they're saying. And I think this was supposed to release last year and it got pushed back. And one of the things that they are saying in a press release, they teased the game is coming to a not yet announced VR platform.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was the big one.
What does that
Quest
mean?
Big
Pro,
one.
Quest Pro,
Yeah,
probably.
well-
Or PSVR 2.
Well, that's
or
announced though.
somebody-
It says a yet to be announced.
Oh, that's true.
But there's two ways you could read that. So by saying them yet to be announced platform, that could mean that it's just coming to the Quest and they haven't announced yet that it's coming to that platform, or that could mean that there is a VR platform, a new platform coming that nobody knows about yet, and they could be mentioning that. I don't know which one it is.
I'm going with the new hardware, the new headset.
Like one we don't know of.
Actually,
Or the maybe we do know of that we're about to talk
that
about.
was my inclination, but now hearing you offer me both of those options, I think I'm going to have to go with the former. I think what they probably meant to say was that they have not announced what headset yet that will be. And then everyone misread it and probably flipped out. Because how could this developer spill the beans on something like that, right? Like, that's the way that this gets broken, is in a tweet from this company.
But don't you? I mean, so people have been freaking out about this. Don't you think they would have came out and been like, yo, we didn't
Our
mean
bad,
to
we
like,
didn't say that.
we didn't mean it like that.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're about to get some announcements here.
Yeah.
soon.
I mean, is
I
this
think
the
coming.
segue, or is there more to get to?
As
Shawn.
far as
Because if we're going to start talking new hardware, then I'm about to start ripping into your
hang on,
HTC
not yet. Almost. I do want to thank Arthur Knox again for his 1 million super chat today. Did you already talk about the Microsoft Metaverse that was just announced this week?
Yes.
We
Yes.
didn't talk about that. We didn't talk
We
about
didn't,
that.
but that's good stuff right
Yeah.
there, man.
Yeah, that is. So, yeah, I think, talking about the platform thing, the one thing, I don't know for sure what they mean, but I think possibly, because this game was delayed, it was supposed to be out last year, and we all know that the Quest platform is the biggest moneymaker right now. So my thought is maybe they have pushed this back because they've been working on a Quest version that they want to release at the same time. But graphically, this game looks insane, and I don't know what they're going to have to do to get it to run on the Quest. But that was my first thought, was, they pushed it back, and they're going to announce that it's coming to the Quest as well, and they just haven't done that. But I think it's also could be potentially a new hardware platform that we haven't heard of, because I keep hearing in the community and in some inside circle kind of stuff that there are headsets coming this year that people don't know about yet, that there is VR hardware coming this year, and nothing concrete of what that is or anything. We're going to get into some HTC stuff, but that it's hard to say. It could be potentially either one, I think. I don't know.
Well, have you ever heard of a device coming out that's wildly successful, starts making all kind of money, and no one else comes in and competes with it?
Right. And that's what the
I
Quest
don't think
is
it's ever
doing.
happened, and I don't think that's just going to be what happens here.
And
So
honestly,
I think
the
we got
Quest
competition.
The Quest needs competition. It really does. I mean, competition is always good for everything. In business, competition is always good. So, I mean, it drives innovation and everything else. So, I think that the Quest needs some competition. It's a great headset. I mean, you can't really not say that it is. I mean, it's just for $300.
Hardware-wise, it's fantastic.
For $300, it's hard to beat.
I use it over my Index.
Yeah,
most
I use
of
it
the time.
a lot of the time now. I mean, you do deal with the Facebook stuff, which stinks. So that would be another thing that would help competition, is something that you don't have to have a Facebook account, because a lot of people have not gotten into VR and not bought a Quest just simply for that one reason. And I can't blame them. I mean, you can't blame them. So. Yeah, I don't know. So Arthur Knox just sent another super chat. Hasn't popped up here yet, but he says Xbox VR with fingers crossed. Maybe that's the platform that they're talking about. Yeah,
damn, that would be cool.
Yeah, there's just so many possibilities, and I think that so many companies have held off on VR for a long time now, and I think now's the time we're going to start seeing these other companies get involved, because like you said, they see the money that is being made. There is money to be made in VR now where there wasn't for a long time, and that was what kept everybody out, because it's scary to spend all of this money in R&D and everything else and then have a platform that nobody buys. Nobody wants that. So now that it's growing in popularity, we're going to see some things, I think. And I don't know if Xbox VR is going to happen. I hope so. I've been hoping for that for so long.
It will someday.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's coming up really soon, but it'll eventually
Xbox will be dead if it doesn't, I think, but eventually. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, the trailer looks good. 4-player co-op sounds awesome to me. I mean, I try not to get too hyped up on trailers, especially cinematic ones.
Right.
Like you look at Oculus's advertising. Like, good thing I didn't see that trailer before jumping into Pop 1.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
that sets the expectations way
totally
too
agree.
high.
What? Facebook Live?
I know. So all I'm saying is that I'm going to wait to see some gameplay footage before I talk about the graphics.
And the other trailer, I think the original trailer gave a little bit more of an indication of what the game is going to look like and stuff. The cinematic trailer is just the newest one that just came out. But do you guys want to talk about the mesh stuff? I actually don't know a whole lot about it. If you want to mention that real quick, and then we'll get into the HTC.
Yeah. I'd love to, man. I think this is a huge deal. I don't know, who knows if it's going to take off, right? But I mean, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
So it's a platform that is cross-platform between VR, AR. Is it flat too? I don't remember, but I know you can hop in. Like, you could pick up a HoloLens at your friend's house, log in as yourself. You'll have your avatar, all your stuff. You could then come over here, throw on a Quest, log in, you've got all your stuff. You could go into Beat Saber, be in your avatar. You could then switch to a different game and hold on to your avatar and all of your stats.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know what I mean?
That's how it needs to be, really.
It's like the metaverse. It's like the Oasis almost, in a way.
And there was this event that just happened called Microsoft Ignite, which is like a press conference kind of thing, basically.
Yeah, I saw
and
some of that.
they did an like a keynote event in VR where they were using some of this technology, and they used volumetric capture to capture like the speakers, and they were like fully represented 3-dimensional like photo like images of these people, and like you can see in some of the images that people captured of the keynote, like walking around the people, and it looks insanely good.
It's good. Microsoft has their mixed reality platform, and the thing they're really focusing on is the augmented reality. Obviously, the HoloLens, they're dumping buckets of money into that, right? So being able to come up, a company like Microsoft that has pretty much unlimited funds, being able to create the metaverse like this, cross-platform, VR, AR, it doesn't matter. Whatever you got, that's what you use. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
This is where we need to go.
I think eventually things will kind of interconnect, with AR and VR and everything. It's just going to take a while, because AR is taking, I think, a lot longer than what originally people anticipated, years ago. But I think it will eventually. I mean, they're similar in things anyways. I mean, and eventually I think they'll be able to do both. Like VR, I think will be able to do really good AR. And I think AR could potentially do really good VR as well if they can close off, the pass-through kind of stuff. I think it'll all eventually, mesh up some.
Yeah,
but
I think Apple's going to solve that soon.
Yeah.
The blackout and the AR. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Did you see that Pokemon Go augmented reality trailer?
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
Use the HoloLens to play Pokemon Go and
multiplayer, where everyone can see
dope.
the same Pokemon. That was a big deal.
That's so awesome, because like the AR on your phone, you're still having to perceive everything through like the screen.
Yeah.
But you put those HoloLenses on, and like you can look around in and 360, you know?
Can you imagine the day where everybody's walking around with AR stuff on, and there's this epic Pokemon battle going on in the city square, and you have a crowd of people around that's watching that all can see the same thing you're seeing. Like they can watch that is the future. Yeah, it's really cool.
We had Sasha LeBaron from Somnium Space on our show a long time ago, and we were kind of talking about some of this stuff, and he was saying how like in high school in the future, like what the cool kids are wearing, you won't be able to see unless you're wearing the glasses. Like you'll buy clothes that are all augmented reality, and like only people who are also wearing those can witness all of that stuff. So like there's going to be a whole second layer of reality that is only accessible by putting this device on.
Yeah.
Which is insanity.
It is.
Cool.
It is.
So
the
cool.
future, I keep saying the future is going to be amazing, and it's going to be crazy, scary, and creepy at the same time. Yeah, it's going to get really weird, and there's going to be things that are really awesome.
And we're going to see a big chunk of it. We are lucky enough to be alive to see a big chunk of it. So
great.
Hold on, everybody, because it's going to get nuts.
It is going to get nuts. Yeah, for sure. One other thing I did want to mention real quick is, did you see the no cloud streaming on Oculus now? They did.
Yes.
They did this thing where they're saying there's no cloud streaming. The new policy forbids cloud VR streaming on both the store and App Lab. So either one, where virtual desktop gets away with it is they're not doing any cloud streaming. That's like a local stream from your PC. And that was still crazy that Oculus even approved that for the official store.
They were doing that. Yeah. So I knew a lot of people that got a service on a cloud machine and then hooked it up with virtual desktop. And they're like, no.
Yeah, so you won't be able to do that. And there was also some stuff, I'm trying to think, trying to look it up. Do
you believe, though, that that's because they are trying to keep that quality, or do you think it's because they're about to launch a similar service?
I think maybe a little bit of both. Some of it is, obviously they had an issue with virtual desktop to begin with because they couldn't control user experiences because there was going to be so many different things, with their network and everything else. So I think part of it is that. I think part of it is they're probably, even with virtual desktop, my thought was the reason they didn't want it on the store was because they were working on their own streaming thing anyways. And I think that this could be, Facebook has enough money to do some cloud services themselves. So I think there's a big potential that is what they want to do themselves. But even there's supposed to be a Pluto. So Pluto Sphere service was supposed to be doing some cloud-based stuff, and now they're going to have to go to side quests because they're not going to be able to do it on the official, Oculus store. There were some other things that had some plans to do some things like that aren't going to be able to happen anymore. So that'll be, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a bummer. I think
latency is an issue. You connect to cloud services, and it's hard to tell if you move your hand and a second later your hand moves, and it's not a good experience.
Yeah, and I don't know anyways if the technology is fully there yet to really be fully supported yet. I think there will come a day when it is, and I think it's a big future in VR for that. But let's get into some HTC
and Wi-Fi
stuff.
6E. That'll be the game changers. Yeah.
Let's get into some HTC stuff though, because first of all, let me see here. I just wanted to throw this up there first of all, because this is something that was done. This is something that was done by Fluke Rogi a long time ago after making fun of. So the Cosmos reveal was absolutely terrible. This is what the Cosmos, the HTC Cosmos. It was the Cosmos on this head just sitting there spinning. And Fluke Rogi made this for us afterwards. And a huge shout out to Fluke. He does a lot of stuff for us. He does our timestamps for us. Awesome guy. Love that guy. Helps us out all the time. So this was really cool. And I had to throw this up there because I saw in a comment of some of the stuff that's going on Twitter with HTC teasing us is Mateo said something about, please, we need something more than a spinning headset reveal. And that literally made me laugh out loud. I saw that at work and I was like, that's so true. Their reveals and stuff, HTC does some really weird stuff. And that was really lackluster, low budget looking stuff for a headset reveal. So that didn't have me very excited. But so hopefully we get something better than that. And I'm going to throw this up here.
We got a still image of some close-up plastic.
It's just
less than that.
Yeah, their stuff is just really weird. I don't know. I don't understand it. But
you know what I think it is? I think that they think they're awesome. It's like, no, seriously though. It's like the cryptic. It's a cryptic approach, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
But it only lands if people love it and are really excited.
Yeah.
If there was a close-up of someone's suit for a new Marvel movie, people would be like, whoa, holy crap, very cryptic, whoa, what is that? Kind of like Population 1 with the silhouette. People are like, oh, wait a second, and you can kind of start to put dots together.
Yeah.
I think that's the kind of reaction that they're going for, is for us to start to get speculative and holy crap, everybody, clear the floor, here comes HTC. But at the end of the day, we're basically like they're on their like last straw with the VR community.
Exactly.
You know?
Like all those
all
things
like,
you listed.
This is make or break.
You better make something.
Like all those things you listed. You're talking about Population 1 and stuff. Those are things that people are already excited about. I feel like HTC is in the point right now where people are like they've lost hope in what they can do. Like, when the Cosmos came out, I was excited. I ordered the Cosmos right away. I had it right away. I was like, HTC is going to do something good with this. I have high hopes for it. It looked cool. I love the flip up feature where you could flip it up, flip it back down, because I'm always doing stuff on the computer and stuff where I need to see. I was like, man, it's going to be great. And I got it, and I jumped into some games, and I was like, this is terrible. The controller tracking was terrible, and I was super disappointed in that headset, and that's the last taste that I have in my mouth from HTC, and it's not a good one. So HTC is, the problem is they were so big in the industry early on. It was Oculus and HTC. It was the Vive and the Rift. It was them back and forth. People loved the Vive, hated the Rift. People loved the Rift, hated the Vive. It was good competition back and forth. And now we don't, we lost that from HTC, and Valve kind of stepped in, and now, we got Microsoft Windows mixed reality and stuff. But I'm hopeful. I don't want HTC to go away. I hope they can do something big. I hope they can do something good. They're teasing, 70% more energy. So, what does that mean exactly? Are we talking a mobile headset? Are we talking a PC headset? Are we talking a hybrid headset? The Proton, that was a image I think it was last year they put out, like a prototype they were working on. And I think that thing looks really cool. I thought the Proton was something that looked pretty interesting. It looked like it had the compute power maybe on the back. It has some weird looking audio, over-ear audio that might be pretty good. It looks interesting, and I hope maybe they go with that design. I don't know that they will, but I don't know. One of the, it's your move. I don't even know what that means. And it was like a little image of like a Vive logo. And then Oculus responds with some chess move stuff. And I'm like, what is going on here? Like, what in the world is going on? They said it's E4 back to you to HTC, and it's like, what is going on? I don't understand.
That's a little presumptuous of Oculus, if you ask me. It's like, what, you think that tweet was for you? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Well, Oculus is the one. They're the one. Because the biggest thing here is HTC going to be able to compete monetarily? Are they going to be able to have a low enough price? Because HTC is known to come out and be like, oh, all these other headsets are affordable. Here's $1 billion headset that nobody asked for. You know what I mean? Obviously, I'm exaggerating, but they overprice things and they undeliver.
Yeah,
or underdeliver.
Historically.
But they have a new CEO. They
do have a new CEO. Yeah, they do, so, and that could be big.
Yeah, they cleaned house and they brought people in to save the company. Right. I mean, let's be real. Yeah. The Cosmos killed them. And, they didn't do the work on the Vive. Valve did all the work and then used HTC to manufacture it and to pump out enough units and do the support.
I mean, that was their base stations, Valve's base stations that was giving them, really good tracking where, then they try to go to the inside out tracking of the Cosmos. They realized this isn't working. Let's make a faceplate that works with the lighthouse tracking again. So they tried to save it, but I can't imagine their sales numbers were very good on the Cosmos. I don't know anybody that's like their go-to headset. Very few people, I think. But and Aspen Darkfire, he makes a good point. He said HTC is huge in the Asian market, and that is true. They are much bigger in the Asian market than they are here in the States. So he said he doesn't think they're going anywhere, and I hope they're not going anywhere. I don't want to see them go anywhere. I would love to see them have a big win. I really would.
So what is this thing, Shawn?
I don't know, and I want to know, and it's driving me crazy. And I've talked to some people speculating. Some people think it's going to be a hybrid, like basically a PCVR headset that's going to be able to do some standalone stuff on its own as well. Maybe a standalone headset that's going to be able to do some wireless streaming. I've even heard things of potentially cloud-based streaming. Don't know. And I've even heard of things after this Oculus post of speculation of Oculus buying HTC or doing something like that, which I think is probably not the case, but there's wild speculation all over the place. With the 70% more energy post, that makes me think that it's something mobile. The problem is that I think if they go something completely mobile, it's similar to a Quest 2, the problem is I don't think they're going to be able to compete with that $299 price. Oculus is subsidizing that price tag, and that is a ridiculously low price tag for what you're getting in that Quest 2. It really is. So for HTC to come along, I think it's going to be very, very hard to compete with a $299 price. I mean, even if they, and the specs aren't we don't have a whole lot of generational leaps, right now with the socket on a chip. We have the XR2, and that's still pretty much the best thing. I think there's one more that came out past that, but it's not anything leaps and bounds better. So, they can't really, it's not like they can make it that much better than the Quest 2. They're most likely still going to use an XR2 chip. You're still going to be pushing probably around the same resolution, and they got to do something with the tracking. I mean, I think if you're going to do an inside-out tracked headset, you have to have at least as good as Quest tracking. At least as good. It can't be worse. And that's what we saw, with the HP Reverb G2. The tracking is not as good as Oculus inside-out tracking. The Cosmos, definitely not as good as Oculus inside-out tracking. I think that needs to be the minimum, because Oculus is going to get better. Oculus is going to make that tracking better and better. Everybody else needs to at least get on that same page, because tracking is a very, very big thing in VR, and it can make or break an experience for sure.
Well, I'm kind of upset with myself that I'm like doing all of this like speculating and like trying to decode these tweets, because that's exactly what they wanted me to do, and I am almost a little mad at it. But I'm with this new tweet about the 70% crap. I am really starting to think this is a mobile headset, because the first one, I didn't take that first tweet as like aimed at Oculus being like, all right, we're coming for you. I took it as using the word move to like come up with like a catchy phrase and almost incite the idea that you can take this thing with you.
That's
like,
what I
it's
thought
your
too.
move, dude. You can take this headset anywhere you want. So that's the vibe I got from that tweet.
It was like the Oculus Go. That was what they called it, the Go, because you could take it on the go,
Right. So now with this one, what would you do with 70% more energy? What would you do with 70% more battery life? Aren't you sick of your Quest 2 dying in 2.5 hours? Wouldn't you like it to last 4 hours, 4.5 hours?
Well, did you see on the back of that Proton there? There's that it looks like a battery pack on the back, and it looks pretty big.
I think they're hinting at battery life with that.
And my personal opinion is, no, I can't imagine a company that's going to try to survive in this industry coming out with another high-end PC VR headset. I don't think it's going to be strictly a PC VR headset. I think it's going to be a combo, just like the Quest. You got to follow the leader. Obviously, Oculus is doing something right. They're shoveling in the money right now, right? So you don't come out with something different. You kind of try to replicate that business model, and they have Viveport, and they have Viveport Infinity. So they have the software and server infrastructure, and that's the biggest thing. Anyone can put out a headset like Pico, right? But they don't have the infrastructure in the background to support it. I think this is going to come out, and I think it's going to have native PC VR streaming and be able to connect directly to Viveport. That's just my speculation.
Dude, if it came with like a 6-month like Viveport Infinity subscription for your wireless Vive headset, and you just immediately get access to like 20 or 30 compatible games, like that would be
I think right now you'll have to have your own PC though. I really doubt it would be cloud-based right now. That's a lot of money for them, but
I don't know that it's there yet. But seeing that Proton image, and like I said, I have no idea if that's even ever gonna become a thing, that that look of that headset. But I really don't understand, even Oculus, why they don't move compute power and battery power to the back. Because one of the biggest issues with the Quest is its front heaviness. It has always made so much sense to me to move some of that weight to the back, get it evened out. You're going to get a lot more comfort. You can put a bigger battery pack in it then, if it's on the back and offsetting some of that weight. So I do hope that they go with that design, and I hope moving forward, even Oculus and stuff goes with that design. But I think that, with it being called the Move, and Gamertag said HTC Move, like he thinks that's what it could potentially be called, is the HTC Move. And I think that's a good indication. Paradise Decay said your Move is a clue. It's a standalone, which I agree. Cat Noir said 70% could also mean the power increase from the first Vive Focus to the XR2 driven HTC headset now. Which
I agree, but that's such a no one like that to me is a very obscure stat to say. Be like, oh, this is 70% more powerful. Like that's
than the Focus, because most people don't know the Focus exists unless you're in the VR bubble.
Lasts 70% longer with battery like that. To me, it seems like a clearer distinction.
It's hard to say. It could be
If
either.
you're going to stream PC VR content, streaming that content sucks up the battery of anything as well. So, using that network card to really be constantly communicating back and forth with the PC, you need more battery life if that's going to be one of the main focuses of the headset. So, and I think that's what's coming. So.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, I just want to know. I just want answers. I've been like watching Twitter. I want to see what their next clue is that they put out, but I mean, it's their marketing is so weird, hopefully they do a little bit better job with the reveal of whenever they reveal this thing of whatever it's going to be, hopefully they do a better job. Wolveraza said it has to be a mobile headset. Wired is done. Virtual desktop put the last nail in its coffin. Wireless PC is possible. So not doing it is a bad idea. So I think that, I mean, it is hard once you play the Quest and you play wireless, whether you're streaming from virtual desktop, there is a big freedom and a good feeling of being wireless as compared to being tethered to a PC. Like I've been tethered to a PC for so long that, I've gotten really used to it. But then when you're wireless and you realize how much more freedom you have to move around, spin around, it is a nice feeling. So I do look forward to the day when we can get PCVR graphics on a headset and no tether, and it runs smooth and
it won't replace PCVR until that happens, because as long as there's a higher fidelity image or better tracking available by any means necessary, there will be a very passionate community of people who will use that. Absolutely. And I feel like I'm one of them. I am not in a hurry to give up my tracked space for optical tracking, and that it might not matter to a casual user, but to me, I can tell a huge difference when I'm playing Beat Saber and I put my hand straight above my head for an awesome smash down and I lose tracking because I have gone outside. That is everything. That ruins it. And like I said, unless it's as good or better, I don't think standalone will ever fully take over.
And we already see companies like Pico, right, with Pico Neo that have integrated out of the box works with PC VR streaming out of the box. So
yeah. So Arthur Knox again. I've lost track of how many super chats that is. Dude, he said Facebook could kill all competition with cloud gaming, which allows titles like Half-Life Alyx and GTA VR possible. So yeah, I mean, Facebook, they own the market right now when it comes to VR. I mean, they really do, and they're in a position to hold that market share, I think, for a while because they have so much money. Like HTC doesn't have as much money as Facebook. I mean, hands down, not even probably a third of the amount of money that Facebook has. So, I mean, Facebook has positioned themselves in a very good place. And, love Facebook or hate them, I mean, you do have to give them credit for keeping VR alive. I mean, they really have over the years. They've done a great job of investing huge amounts of money into VR to keep it going. And that's why we see VR growing so much in 2020 and 2021. So not that I agree with all of their business practices for sure, but they have dumped a lot of money in VR, and I am glad for that. But I don't know. I am excited for this HTC thing because the problem is I don't want to have to spend money on another headset. But I love buying more headsets, so it's like a double-edged sword. So I'm excited at the same time. I don't want to spend more money, but I do want to see what they do. And I think the biggest fear that I have with an HTC product is going to be the price and the tracking.
And the customer service, because their customer service was terrible, and
hopefully,
Oculus is actually good.
Yeah, Oculus they do have good customer service. So hopefully with the new CEO and all that stuff in HTC, that they can get a lot of those early issues and stuff. Hopefully they can get that figured out, and hopefully they've learned a lot with the inside-out tracking that they've done with the Cosmos, and hopefully they know what they need to improve. I think a big problem is that a lot of these people want to use the light-based tracking, where the controllers light up, like how the Cosmos did, where Oculus is using the infrared technology, and the infrared just seems to work so much better. At one point in time, I thought, we need more cameras. You got to put 20 cameras on this headset, and that's what's going to make tracking better. And we see that that's not necessarily the case, because even the Cosmos had, 5 or 6 cameras? And it was garbage tracking. So it's definitely not the amount of cameras. Obviously, that can help some, but I think there's a lot more that goes into it. There's the algorithms. You see with the HP Reverb G2, I think one of their biggest downfalls was the algorithms, the predictive algorithms of where your hands were last seen, of where it thinks they're at now. If I put my hands down to the side and you lose that tracking, my hands probably aren't way up here, and that's where it always tries to put them.
They don't fly away.
Yeah, so it's like some of the stuff I think is, I don't know, these companies got to get that stuff figured out, but I'm excited, and I want more info. I want to see what happens. I want to see this year. I want to see this year, and hopefully soon.
I'll tell you what, man. If HTC, so I was never a big HTC fan. I loved that these companies are making these awesome headsets, but I always had a problem with HTC, mostly because their customer service. They were kind of ripping people off. But I'll tell you this: if HTC comes out with a viable headset that is a good competitor to the Quest, I'm all over it, dude. I couldn't get away from the Facebook ecosystem fast enough, and I would happily jump ship to HTC, which is kind of crazy because I never wanted to deal with HTC. But really, with the shady practices of Facebook lately, I am very much looking forward to having a competitor.
Yeah, and like I said, competition is always good. So
it's always good.
I feel like as long as there is a single title worth playing on the Oculus platform that's exclusive, you'll still own an Oculus product and you'll still use it.
It'll be hard.
Will.
Yeah.
I personally will, but I will always use the other one to collect as little data as possible for myself.
Yeah. So Caleb VR, he said Caleb VR real life not included, $10 super chat with the flying pear thing going through there. Didn't show it on here, but thank you so much, Caleb. That is really awesome. So what do you think if this isn't a mobile? You know, we keep talking mobile. What if this is a strictly PC VR headset? What is that going to look like?
It's not.
Yesterday I was making a case for it being a wired headset, and mainly just saying that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Right. After seeing these couple of tweets, I don't think it is, especially the 70% more energy thing that really has me thinking batteries. And the move thing really has me thinking move.
Yeah.
But yesterday I was singing a little bit of a different tune, saying that I don't think it would be a horrific thing because Skeeva he's had it up to here with his index, and I know you're one, Shawn, that has had pretty good luck with his index, but a lot of people have struggled with their index stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, the Rift S is dead. The Cosmos, of course, bombed. G2 bombed. Like it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to have HTC come in and have a high quality, high-end PC VR headset that's wired, that has good tracking.
Yeah, if they did a good job. And they could still use the base stations. The problem is that for a lot of people just getting into VR, they don't want the base stations anymore. You know, they don't have a dedicated space they can mount base stations and stuff. That's where it's starting to get difficult for the newer people that are coming into VR that aren't hardcore VR people like we are, you know. That makes it difficult. So it'll be hard to see, you know, I don't know, because I mean, that is
and
the best
am I going to
tracking,
replace my Vive Pro? Because I use the Vive Pro. I have an HTC Vive Pro. I think it's great. Like
I hear so many good things about that headset. A lot of people
qualms with that headset. Yeah. So it's like it would have to be a pretty big jump up in order for me to get rid of the Vive Pro to scoop that. Right. And Vive Pro ain't cheap. That's like a $1,100 headset or something. You know, it's outrageous.
And you modded yours, so it looks even better.
Yeah, it does. Wow. So I don't think. I put the Samsung Gear VR lenses in there.
Yeah.
Material would turn me on to it.
So good. It looks so good.
Yeah. I don't know why we're still using the Fresnel lenses. Like, I don't know why we haven't gotten away from that yet. Hopefully this next generation, but
I experience eye strain with the Gear VR lenses in a way that I didn't with the Fresnel lenses.
Gotcha.
It can sometimes, depending on the title, some titles are better than others, but depending on the title, sometimes like after an hour I pull it off, I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good.
It feels like I got hit in the eyeballs, you know?
So Wild Ox Studios, Jason, the developer, dropping, he said the market just isn't there for PC VR, and the market is getting slimmer, I think, with the Quest 2.
This thing's going to be standalone, dude.
I think because the 70% more power, how do you make sense of that if it's a wired PC VR headset? I can't think of a way that 70% more energy
it would make any sense to be wired at all. If you had two buckets, one was almost empty and one was full of money, which one are you going to go for? Are you going to make a product for the empty bucket? I don't think so.
I mean, HTC needs a win. They need to make a product that people are going to buy. They need to make some money, and they need to win.
If this thing bombs, dude,
they're done.
They're done.
They're done. This is it. This is make or break.
This is their make or break moment. I totally agree. And we saw HTC going the direction of enterprise. You know, they started going, oh, well, we're not going after the consumer market, we're going after enterprise. Well, why do you think that was? Because the consumer market wasn't buying their products, you know what I mean? So they could justify a high price and say it's you know, that was how they were justifying the price and everything else. And I think that that's not working for them anymore either. So I think that they are going after the consumer market. I think they need to go after the consumer market, but they need to have a good product that performs well. They need good customer service, and they need a price tag that isn't going to break the bank, that people are going to be able to afford. Because we see, I mean, the reason the Quest 2 has been so successful is that $299 price tag. That is completely obtainable for so many people, and we've seen that with over Christmas sales and everything else. You know, the biggest complaint that I got from everybody when they came over and tried my Rift CV1 and they were blown away. They absolutely loved it and they wanted one, is how much is a gaming PC? That was the biggest drawback, and that was the reason so many people didn't buy it, because I told them, you need a $1,000 gaming PC as well as this headset that at the time was, I don't know, $800 or whatever it was back then with the touch controllers. And so is price. Price is a huge thing.
And let's be real, $1,000 gaming PC isn't even what you really want.
I mean, yeah.
You want like a $2,000 or $3,000 gaming PC, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're going PCVR, you're doing it to get high fidelity graphics, faster frame rates. So you really are going to end up spending a lot of money. So it's definitely an enthusiast market.
And it's the simplicity of mobile too. We talked about that. The tinkering. You don't have to tinker. I mean, the Quest. You throw it on, you go into a game, and it works. You don't have to change all the super sampling and all these other settings to try to get it to work right. I mean, there are some settings you can tweak with if you want to go through side quests and stuff, but you don't have to. And that is, a lot of people don't want that. My family has a Quest 2. My sister and my nephews and stuff, they play it all the time. They don't want a gaming PC to mess with all the time. So Arthur Knox, again, magnetic tracking and light field display will equal Ready Player One. And then as well, the big show, don't understand why people think standalone VR holds back graphics. I can stream PC games on Quest, no issue at all. Ready Player One was standalone. So yeah, I mean, with the ability to stream from PC with something like virtual desktop and stuff, I mean, it blew my mind the first time I did it. It's absolutely, and even Link, Link is a completely viable solution as well, and there's some issues. Some people have issues and some don't, and some notice the compression and all of that stuff, but it's going to get better too, and man, they're coming in like crazy now. Brandon said Cosmos was make or break. Y'all, the partner who is willing to hear the abuser out. If it's PCVR only, it's dead on arrival. It'll be standalone and much more than $299. I think it is going to be a standalone. I do fear the price is going to be a lot more than $300. And talking about Arthur Knox, magnetic tracking and light field display, I do think that the magnetic tracking, I've never tried anything with magnetic tracking. I know, what was it? Was it Nolos, or who was
Nolo.
it? Yeah, using magnetic tracking.
That doesn't work that bad. A lot of people poop on Nolo, but dude, man, me and Alex played with those
Hawaii,
the really thin ones.
Those looked cool.
Right?
I wanted to try those.
Yeah, and we played Beat Saber on it, and it worked great.
And it looked really good. It was glasses with 6 stuff. And I mean, it was optical tracking, but I mean, I played on Expert Plus, and it wasn't terrible.
Yeah. And I do think light field display stuff is going to get pretty interesting too. Again, I haven't tried anything with that. So I think as far as if it is a standalone unit, I think it hopefully has the potential to do PCVR as well, whether that be plugged in or wireless. I think even, the Quest has done a fantastic job with the technology as they've advanced it with the link cable, right? It started out not that good. They've made it better. They've made it possible with a 2.0 cable and not just their expensive cable. They've done a good job. They continue to improve it. I think it's going to continue to get better. I think that, HTC could even do something with a DisplayPort cable, and maybe be able to do something a little bit better than a US over USB. I'm not sure exactly how all that works, but if they do something where they can get rid of some of the compression and some of the latency, I think there's potential there. Don't know what they'll do, but I hopefully if it is a standalone, that it's something that can do PCVR as well, whether it be tethered or untethered.
Let's remember too that HTC is currently the only headset that really has, besides Pico, they're the only main really big headset that has an option you can buy for wireless.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They have their own wireless adapter.
That's
and
true.
Vive doesn't have that.
And to address what Brandon said, saying that like we're the partner that's willing to hear the abuser. Like we're currently in an abusive relationship with Oculus. Like that relationship is also abusive, and we're at a point now where like we're not about to be single. None of us are going to go and be single here. So we need to be hooked up with somebody.
The one that hurts us least.
So it's not so much that like we're like hearing out someone who's abused us. We're like praying that they've gotten their together and are willing to bail us out of the abusive relationship that we're currently in, which I think is important. We need to like keep our options open and be willing to listen to anybody who's willing to make such a huge leap forward in time and money to push VR forward and to offer us some kind of competitor to this data collection monster that currently holds VR hostage.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I want to try everything. So when a new headset comes out, like I want to try everything that I can get my hands on, you know, because me and Tyler talk about it a lot, how there's no headset out there right now that's perfect. You know, every single headset does something good and something not as good as something else. You know what I mean? So there's a good thing and there's a trade-off with pretty much every headset you use, you know, and so there's nothing that's just perfect. So it's great to be able to, you know, as things advance and see what the next thing is going to do, you know, what it's going to do better than everybody else and what it's going to not do as good as everybody else. And I love my Quest 2. I really do. You know, I don't love the Facebook stuff, but I love the headset. I mean, I use it all the time. I probably use it more now than any other headset I have. You know, I still love my Index. I put the Index on and I'm like, oh, this feels good. You know, I mean, wider field of view. It's just so comfortable. It's a great headset. I don't love the controllers. You know, the controllers just aren't my favorite. I don't like the hand tracking stuff. It doesn't, like finger tracking stuff doesn't always work right. They're not comfortable to use. I think the thumbstick placement is not where I would put it for me. It's not comfortable. And like you said, you know, Skeeva's had a lot of issues with his. I have been really lucky with mine. I haven't had to send anything back. Even my controllers, when I first got them, they didn't click, and I never sent them back. But now they click because I've used them so much that they actually kind of click now. They're still not perfect. Yeah.
You're still using that original batch?
Yep. Still using that. Yeah.
4 sets deep and 2 sets deep on
Tyler,
the headset itself.
Yeah, Tyler's went, I think, through 2 sets of controllers, and one of them was his fault because he actually hit it on a table and broke the controller in half. And Valve actually replaced that for him free of charge. So they do have good customer service for the most part too.
They do.
So I don't know. I mean, there's like I said, there's trade-offs on everything. I love my
Come on,
Index
deck
2.
of gear.
Yeah, I don't know that I have. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one, but yeah.
I pre-ordered it just because I'm an
Did you?
addict.
Oh, okay. I didn't pre-order that one. I don't have enough faith in it yet, but I will. Maybe I will at some point. But that $50 like pre-order thing before they even really had a product, and I was like, I don't know. But hey, if they come out with a product and it's decent, I'll probably order one too. A gaming science teacher says, I'm a pawn in Facebook's corporate game, and I know it, with a laughing face. And yeah, so I don't know. Tyler, dude, from Rendered Reality.
Tyler! Man, dude, Tyler, thanks for letting us sit on your side of the table over
here,
man.
We're keeping your seat warm.
This is a comfortable chair.
It is.
Thank you for letting me just chill here.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
You know, take your
Alex
spot.
is making a little bit of a mess under the desk.
Yeah, spilling coffee everywhere. And
it's all over.
Yeah, you're gonna have to clean up that desk there when you get back. But, so he asked, would Valve making a standalone change the game? Oh my goodness, Valve. I love Valve. So whether they do an Index 2 or whether they do something standalone, I give it to me now, please. I mean, I would love to see that happen. I would love to see Valve make a standalone unit to compete with Facebook. That would be absolutely phenomenal. I don't know that they will, but I'm really hoping for an Index 2 announcement maybe this year or next year.
Imagine mobile Half-Life Alex 2. Speaking of that, or Half-Life Alex, but I think when PSVR 2 comes out, I think Half-Life's going to be a launch title.
They should.
Me personally.
They should.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a phenomenal game.
That is really not outside the realm of possibility.
No.
I mean, Half-Life has been on every platform.
Yeah.
I mean,
they always went out to the consoles.
Yeah, and Valve is so much more open to working with people. I mean, they've worked with HP for their
HPV.
Sorry, HP. They've worked with HP.
With a lot of people. A lot.
Sorry. Too much coffee. Too much coffee, and we're going long today, so we're already over the time limit. But yeah, they've worked with HP for doing work with them. You know, on their G2, they've done work with HTC. You know, they're not closed off. You know, so I think that's a huge potential. I hope that happens because I want those people to be able to experience Half-Life Alyx. Absolutely phenomenal game, phenomenal. So yeah, I can't wait. But I don't know. I'm excited for HTC. I'm really excited for this week. Some of the stuff, some of the stuff we didn't get into today that I wanted to was the new Zenith trailer, the MMORPG. That's looking really good. Getting closer now. They had massive funding through a Kickstarter, absolutely blew up. So big hopes for that game, especially with all the money that they collected and stuff for that. I think it's going to be good. I think we need some more of that kind of game in VR. I think there's a big push for that, and we don't have a lot of that. I wanted to talk about Tiny Castle on App Lab. I didn't get a chance to play that yet, but that was actually something that was developed by Oculus for testing, and they've released that on App Lab. That looks pretty cool. I haven't tried it. I do want to try that. I did download it. I just haven't had a chance to go into it yet. I did want to mention the video that we put out recently with the boxing gloves and the battery bank from Nirvana VR. That battery bank is phenomenal. Make sure you go back and check that video out. If you're looking for a battery bank for your Quest 2, it works really, really good. It works with the Elite strap, like the $50 Elite strap. It works great with that, which is awesome because you can't get the Elite battery strap. So that is a great setup for that. You can still get to the adjustment knob.
I keep getting them over and over. Every time they break, they send
that's
me
why they
another
can't
one.
sell them. That's why they can't sell them, because
I
everybody's
can't buy one.
yeah. Yeah, so if you're looking for an Elite battery strap, I think that is a great option. And there is a discount code, a rendered reality discount code that you can use. It's in the video, a video or two back. So I think that's great. It doesn't work. It works good with the deluxe audio strap, but the way it's set up, it covers up the adjustment knob. I'm sure people can get creative and mix that up. But it's a 10,000 milliamp battery. It's got a digital display on it where you can double tap it. It'll tell you how much battery life you have left. I think they did a really good job. I've been using it. It's on my wife's Quest right now. So check that out. I think that's really cool. And the boxing gloves.
Did you try the gloves? Did you try
I
the
did.
gloves?
The boxing gloves are pretty awesome. And I did the video on them. And he actually told me, I wanted to mention that he actually told me that the Velcro, you loop through the ring, the halo ring of the controller as well, which I didn't do. But I never felt like they were going to fly out because the cup is pretty tight and then your thumb is over the joystick. So you still have your thumb over them. So I think that was really cool. I actually have something that I ordered to use with those and some other stuff to do, because I want to use some VR to try to get back in shape. And for a lot of people, they use VR to lose weight. I'm actually going to try to do the opposite because, as you guys know and a lot of viewers know, I was really sick for about a month, and I lost literally about 25, close to 30 pounds of everything, of fat, muscle, everything. So I want to use some VR to get back in weight. I have something on order that's really cool that I'll probably put a video out on that is hopefully going to help me do that. I'm really excited about it. Just showed up yesterday. But the boxing gloves are really cool, and he is working on a weighted version as well. When we talked about it on the show, a lot of people in chat were like, oh, it'd be really cool to have the boxing gloves in a weighted version, get that extra workout. He does have that coming. He's working on it.
Let me ask you this. So when I think of those boxing gloves and I think of something like Thrill of the Fight, I can just imagine how sick it would be to have a punching bag where the other boxer is and be able to actually hit that thing, get the impact. Because with boxing games, you're swinging, and it kind of, if there's nothing to hit, it kind of hurts your shoulders and stuff after a little while. You're just swinging at air. Yeah. But to put like a punching bag there would be so sick. It would be so immersive.
I mentioned that when we first talked about that, and I think that would be awesome. Like even the dummies, you see the dummies that you could punch in the head and the gut and everything else. And the weird part is as the character in the game moves and that thing's not moving, the game almost needs to be built for it. What's the Richie's Plank experience where you can map out that 2x4 or 2x6. It needs to be something like that. And I don't know how that would work exactly, but I think there is a future for something like that. Or you just have a complete wall that's padded that you're punching the wall or something. I don't know, but I think that would be pretty cool.
I just see injuries galore, bro.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like wrists getting broken.
And would it break the
That's
controller?
true. Yeah, that's
because the controller's inside
that's
the glove.
true,
But
too.
I like where your head's at.
Yeah.
It would
That's
take
true,
some
too.
serious refinement. What I would look into maybe, Shawn, is I did this thing called Black Box VR, which is resistance based. It's like a Bowflex that's built into a VR game. So you're like launching fireballs in VR while you're pushing on this Bowflex thing and like pumping weight.
It's something similar. Similar idea of what I'm working on. So I've actually been putting out a bunch of videos lately, and I wondered if it was bothering everybody that all these videos I was putting out was popping up on their feeds, and they're like, oh, not again, another rendered reality.
Dude, your videos are awesome.
Hopefully not,
let me
but
speak on behalf of the community that they're super high quality. We think you are great.
I
You have an
appreciate
awesome
that.
perspective. The stuff that you're
appreciate
showing is not super typical. Please keep it coming.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I've been having
awesome.
a ton of fun. I really have. So being sick, I came up with a lot of ideas of stuff I wanted to do, and I was sick for so long and I couldn't put out any stuff, and we were like, oh, 2021, we're gonna ramp it up, and then I got sick for a month and we put out nothing. So it's like I've just been having fun. I really have. I mean, part of making the videos, if you're not having fun, you probably shouldn't do it, because you got to have fun doing it. So hopefully, if you haven't subscribed, I got some cool stuff coming. Hopefully we have some more giveaways coming, some big giveaways we have planned that we haven't revealed yet. So make sure you subscribe. Arthur Knox My goodness.
Arthur Knox, make sure you subscribe to our
yeah,
channel.
we're gonna be having tons of coffee.
Feel free to come to our live stream.
Yeah. Awesome, dude. We have a lot of really great supporters in the community for sure. He said the claim plus pull-up bar equals Goku. So, yeah, I mean, I'm excited to do some. I mean, VR workouts have really gotten popular anyways, and I think we're going to I already know of a couple VR workout games that are coming that we've talked to some people about that are really, really cool ideas. So I think it's going to, coming up, I think VR workouts are going to blow up even more. So yeah, I appreciate the super chats, Arthur Knox, everybody, all the coffee, the people that bought us the buymeacoffee.com, super appreciated. The Patreon, super appreciated. Had a new one join today. Really appreciate all of that. And yeah, love this community. I know you guys feel the same way. This is the best community there is out there. Absolutely.
It truly is
the best.
Yeah, it's just so supportive. Even all the content creators, everybody's so supportive of each other. Great community. So glad to be a part of it. Yeah.
I love it. And I want to thank you guys, you and Tyler, because I feel like if it wasn't for Coffee and VR, we probably wouldn't have our own podcast. Like you guys were the main inspiration.
Seriously, straight up.
Well,
not even joking, dude.
Appreciate that.
We built our, we looked at your guys' thing. We're like, wow, they have a great thing going on. We stole a couple of your ideas.
That's all right. Yeah, we love it. I mean, we love the community. The more the merrier. The people that, do this kind of thing, make videos, it's awesome. So, and it's just a passion. It's a passion for you guys. It's a passion for us. We just have a ton of fun doing it. What do you guys have coming up this Friday? Who do you got coming on? Let me know.
Ooh,
Are we allowed to know yet?
Yeah. So we have Blake J. Harris joining us on the show. He is the author of the book, The History of the Future.
Oh, I have not read that. I have heard about that, though. Have you guys read it?
Yes,
it's
and
good?
It was so
I need to pick that
good.
up. I need to pick that
like
up.
I think they should make it into a movie. I think it would be awesome. But I'm a super nerd. I'm just super into this VR stuff and all the characters behind it. And that book, I really loved it. Like it was one of those books where I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to go back and I have to stop right now because I got stuff to do, but I don't want to. And that's kind of rare for me.
Yeah,
so.
That's how it was with Gary's book. Like I'm not a huge reader.
Sure.
I like to read, but usually I read a book and I'm like, I get bored with it. And then I come back a little bit later. Gary's book was like, oh man, I want to see, I get to the end of the chapter. I'm like, holy crap, I got to read the next chapter because I want to know what happens. He did such a good job with that book.
The memory engine, go out and
pick it
get
up.
that
Seriously.
book, man.
Seriously.
And also grab a copy of the History of the Future. If you're really into this VR stuff, you will learn all kinds of stuff about how all of this was formed. I mean, it's really good stuff.
Jason Rubin also wrote Console Wars and is like an executive producer on the television adaptation of Console Wars.
Nice.
So we're excited to have him.
Very nice.
Jake
Very
Harris.
nice.
Yeah. Yep,
awesome.
Yep.
Well, thank
Not
you guys
Jason
so much. Thank you guys for being on too. And make sure you sign up for the Gleam giveaway over here for, I don't know where to point, but for the Climb 2. Super appreciate you guys coming on. I've loved having you, and we went longer than I planned, which happens. You get into a good conversation and the time just flies by. It goes by so fast. But I do really appreciate you guys being on here. We're going to have to do this again. Might have to get four of us up here at some point when Tyler's back. Yeah, we'll do it again. So definitely check out. Wait a minute, do it again. We're behind the cover. All right, that just got weird. but thank you guys for being on. We will definitely catch these guys on Fridays. We'll see you back here on Saturday. Keep an eye out for some videos. Hopefully this week I got some cool stuff planned. As long as I get it done, I'm back to work full time after being sick, so it's a little bit harder to get some stuff out, but love you all. Yeah, thank you. And I'm glad everybody was here. Definitely appreciated. Much love, and we will see you guys next weekend, or as Tyler says, we'll see you in VR.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Later.
Bye-bye.
See ya.